And like that, we're back with another Unpacked presented to you by the To Be Fair Show and
the GSH podcast.
All right, y'all. We are back with another one. It's been some breaking news. We'll get to that in a second. But this has been a interesting news week in general. But today we're going to talk about some of these rifts that are happening on the right. Is the right finally fractured? You got the Groypers versus I don't know. I guess are we calling them traditional MAGA now? Maybe. Is Nick Fuentes hijacking the MAGA movement? But more than that, there has been a release, or there's been some movement with the Epstein files and Trump that's kind of been breaking the news today. There has also, coinciding with that, been the government opening up. There's been Trump done dropped a couple things. He told us that Americans ain't really that educated no more. Bringing the H-1Bs, he said 50-year mortgages, 15-year car loan. It's a lot for us to get to, fellas. A lot happened this week, and we're gonna have a little fun. But with that said, we got the Four Horsemen back. New dad is here. Welcome back to the show, G.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Before I introduce the panel, what has your first week in fatherhood been like?
A lot of fatigue. Just adjusting, man. It's dope though, because little man changed like every day at this age. You just see little developments and things like that. So it's a cool experience, man. I can't even front. It's a dope thing to enjoy.
I dig it. Is he looking like Mom Dukes to you right now, or he just looked like a swollen baby?
They say he looked like me. He definitely got the head, you know what I'm saying? So that's that. Like he got that. He got it honest. But we'll see. You know, it's funny because like one day I feel like he'll look like me. One day I'll be like, who do you look like? So you know, he changes. But
hey, tell me, did you have this moment? To me, this is the scariest moment that most dads have, but don't necessarily speak about. I imagine you was in the delivery room, right?
Yeah.
And when the baby got pushed out, the head was elongated, and it was like, God damn.
See, that's a whole that's all the conversation, because we had to do a C-section, so that was a whole other experience being in a room for that. So but when the baby come out, it's a crazy. But the whole thing, I ain't gonna lie to you, it just give a whole different respect for what women go through with that whole process. So, hey man, shout out to wifey for holding it down, man.
Oh no, I get it then. Yeah. My son, he was birthed out right. So I got to see his long head, and then I was scared. I was like, damn, is he gonna keep a head like that? But they put a little cap on him and it shaped the head. My daughter, again, shout out to Mom Dukes, Mama Todd's. Yeah, she had a C-section as well. So like you said, when you go through that part too, you see both sides of it. Shout out to women. Women be making shit happen and going through it. And all you do is get a squeeze hand.
I pray that I pass out in the delivery room. I don't want to see none of that shit. Wake me when it's done.
It's crazy, man.
I'm trying to faint.
I dig it. All right, so with that said, welcome back to the panel again. You got G the King, G Access Media. G, well, I don't know if we ain't putting the podcast on anymore.
Podcast still on the channel, so we still rapping GSH Pod for sure.
Okay, GSH Pod. Yeah, talk to him.
What's good, everybody? G, host of the GSH Podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future. Forget about everything else. Check it out wherever you get your pods. Just search GSH POD. Hi.
Yes, sir. We got welcome back to another one of our guys. Missed a couple episodes, but again, he told us he booked and busy, got a new position. They keeping him busy out there, Johnson. Well, I ain't gonna see your institution, but but what's going on, A Black?
Yeah, man. Apologies, folks. It's been a while, couple weeks. Getting married, moving into a new house.
Oh, I didn't know this part happened.
New job. Well, now that's in 2 weeks. The marriage.
Oh.
So preparing for that is a little bit more than I was expecting. So it's a learning experience. We gotta do a whole show on that one day. But
so are y'all doing like a traditional African or traditional American? Like how y'all doing it?
Yeah, we doing traditional.
On which side, African or American?
African.
Okay. And y'all doing it over there or?
Yeah, it's gonna be in Senegal, in Dakar, and I got about 15, 20 of my family coming out.
Oh, that's fine.
About 200-300 of her.
Good.
Good. And we go make it happen. The beautiful thing is like all of I didn't expect nobody to really come. I didn't put that burden on nobody, but none of them have been to Africa before. So my mom coming, my dad coming, my brothers. Okay. So it's just like something that I always fantasize when I'm out there. You know, when you traveling, you're like, damn, I wish I could bring my niggas here and shit. And so now it's like the family's actually coming, so they about to get that experience, plus the wedding. So planning for that been crazy. Then the new job position, and it's just like same, but a lot of the same stuff I do. But you know, when you get a bigger title, now you gotta go to meetings and shit.
Right.
You gotta
be present for it.
Yeah, you can't be like, well, I don't get paid enough for that, so I'm out. And you gotta stick around. But other than it, it's good, man. It's good times at the school too. So
I dig it.
Once I'm moving to the new place, I have a whole little studio set up. I'm gonna be looking all well lit like G. And y'all got the cameras and the lights and the chairs. I'm coming, man. I'm getting it together, you know.
Okay. Wait, and making sure. So is this new spot gonna be in abroad or you is the new spot here?
It's gonna be here. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, my great grandmother's old home.
Okay.
And, you know,
way to keep it in the family.
Yeah.
All right. LTO act. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask it. Dowry. That's what they ask you.
Yeah, for sure. But I ain't gonna tell niggas like.
Okay. Listen, I don't know nothing about this, so they ask me the questions.
I say this. I mean, it's in an American culture, we might not call it that, but you still paying it in other forms. It's just kind of like it's more symbolic. And
got you. And so, and then with that, her people do like the whole wedding and all that, right? Is that like her dad's job?
Yeah. They doing the majority of it, but even still, it's still a little price on even my side, even just my personal stuff, outfits.
Yeah.
You know, little
outfits. I
forget you know, you got to get your fits custom made and 2-3 for the whole day, and you got to get your hair done. You got the family out there. You got to get a bus to transport them back and forth. So it's a whole little thing, but it's cool. We're gonna make it happen.
I dig it. All right. Oh, Johnny, I can't wait till we got a fun meme coming along. It just reminded me of like some things you've been saying that you might have to stand on pretty soon. But with that said, welcome to the show, Johnny P, a third of the To Be Fair show, host of the To Be Fair show. What's going on, brother?
What's up, family? I ain't got no good announcements like the other two fellas, but I'm glad to be here, and it's gonna be a good one. We just had some breaking news drop, so this should be interesting.
Yeah. We've had a couple breaking news sections. So really quickly before we get too deep into it, because who knows how much or how long these other ones are going to take. Like I said, Johnny, you just reminded me. I don't know if y'all have seen this. Maybe this came out today, but I'll push play on this.
Oh yeah, can't hear it.
Oh, y'all can't hear it?
Nah, go back.
Oh damn! All right, hold on. Let's try this.
Still look familiar.
Hey, listen, it is Charlotte. Let me see. Let me try and remove this completely from the stage, and then just throw it over here. But yeah, feel free to filibuster, fellas, as I try and get this together.
Man, well, we can get some context. You know that Trump's been sending National Guard to several cities, across the country, and looks like North Carolina next on the list. He coming to the Queen City. I think the meme got some more details on what's going on in the Queen City, but let's see what we talking about.
All right, let me know if y'all hear it now.
The next city where Border Patrol will begin an immigration enforcement operation.
That's according to a Department of Homeland Security official speaking with NBC News. This is a story we first broke during our live Impact news stream on WCNC Plus. Now, the exact timing of this has not been announced, but it should follow Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino leaving Chicago sometime this week. This will be the first city that Border Patrol will spearhead an operation without coordinating with ICE in the same location.
And although ICE has made arrests here, the agency was not coordinating with Border Patrol. This is a developing story, and WCNC Charlotte will bring you more information as we learn more.
All right. I guess I'll toss it to everybody. What is y'all thoughts? They are bringing. I guess we're going to be the next stop.
I think this is
y'all the locals. Y'all gotta tell me what's going on. Is this because of the situation on the train? Is this something else that went down recently where it sounds like this makes sense for Charlotte?
I don't understand the difference between border control and ICE. Like, what's border control? Like, what I heard, I thought it was gonna be like ICE coming in, but this
border control is at the border mainly.
Yeah, so Customs and Border Patrol (CBP) is one unit, and then immigration and whatever ICE stand for is a separate unit. So like Border Patrol and Customs is really just worried about like the line, like getting in and out of the country, whereas ICE
come into Charlotte.
I don't know.
Like this is
well, they say we got a lot of shootings here. We got a lot of shootings and murders here. They claim.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I wonder if this because they. What was it? Is it our city council was petitioning to Trump to bring the guys down here? So maybe this is step one. And yeah, I don't know, fellas.
The mayor said she don't want it, but I be wondering, do anybody ask the National Guard how they feel? Because I mean, that's one of them jobs you signed up for, thinking like, we ain't gonna have to do shit, go get paid, chill, buy a charger. Now these niggas going city to city. Having to be aggressive, like they ain't really National Guard ain't really
niggas trying to get a scat pack.
Like, nigga said chilling by a
this
charger.
Is when you don't want to go to the Air Force or the Army or the military. I'm gonna do National Guard. This shit light work. We don't got to do much. You might travel a little bit. He's like he making them work because National Guard has been harmless. It's the ICE niggas going around in the mask. That's like.
But are they sending the National Guard though? They didn't say National Guard. They only said like border. They said like it's just the Border Patrol. I ain't hear nothing about National Guard. I thought it was gonna be ICE too, but they said it's not even ICE.
Well, ICE already been here, but our sheriff McFadden, he wasn't cooperating with them, so they've been putting a smear campaign on them. But he was basically like they don't got nowhere to hold the people when they lock them up, and the ICE people supposed to come get them picked up, and they're not getting picked up. So he put it back on the street because he like they're not his jurisdiction. So the white people have been mad at him about that, but I don't know what they go send here, man.
I think it's just a lot of performative stuff. I think like it's funny that like when something come out on one side, he'll do something else to kind of like. I think it's just performative. Like I don't think it's gonna be that.
Would you say that when they went to Chicago and Memphis, it's been performative?
I don't think those were, but I think like DC was mostly performative. I think there has been times where he's done it performative, and I think he's doing it to deflect from like bigger issues he got going on. Like I don't think Charlotte's like, what's Border Patrol gonna do in Charlotte? Like, I mean, it's not the National Guard, it's not even ICE. So I mean, I think it's.
I don't know. I'm also not abreast to
a heavy Spanish population. I mean, like Latino and immigrant population, especially in East Side Charlotte, but. I'm pretty sure we got a lot of illegals here,
possibly. But I also would imagine of all the cities in America, we probably aren't anywhere close to the highest concentration. I don't know. To me, it seemed like if I'm just guessing, this is probably like step one into them doing like the full whatever they've been doing. But I would imagine a lot of this probably does come from the whole thing with Shorty that got killed on the light rail, and because if you remember, Trump did do a specific announcement. I think he did like a press release about the whole little thing, to where it's just stage one. Like you said, they're about to leave from Chicago and come down here. I wouldn't be surprised if then it's they bring more ICE, the National Guard, because again, it's not like the people inside the city wasn't quote unquote announcing it and saying that we want this. Forget about whatever the homicide rate was, or it was like up a certain percentage in the past year since Trump been in office. But saying all that to say, Johnny, if this does turn into a Memphis scenario, with 8 tags, licenses, are you standing on business?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a move different, and I'm
gonna
be careful. I'm gonna be careful.
You
but
parking that car? How you getting to work? You gonna catch the bus?
I got an Uber card.
Okay. Okay, Johnny. Okay.
But
by the 5th day that Uber. Okay. Your ass gonna be taking the back streets. I
think you do have to move differently, though. You can't, like, if you know this is coming up, you can't just, like, I mean, you got to make adjustments, I think, and that's all out. If you know the thing is coming, I'd definitely be, trying my best to make sure I'm straight. If I can't, I'd be, driving the speed limit. I definitely wouldn't be speeding, make sure my lights and everything. I mean, there's a lot of things I'd do differently to protect myself if I was, definitely.
Okay. All right, just asking. We'll get more into that at another time. But nonetheless, if we start with the bigger news, well, I don't know which news is bigger, but there has been an end to the shutdown. We can speak about that briefly. I guess I'll play a few memes, and from these memes, we can just kind of gather a little bit of conversation.
You said that.
Okay, what the just happened? 1 week Democrats are winning elections, and the next they're caving on government shutdowns. This has been the longest government shutdown since, well, Trump's first term. And that's got Congress feeling pretty antsy. And if you recall, this all started because they couldn't agree on a budget. Democrats are fighting to make sure that ACA subsidies were extended. Basically, they wanted to ensure that health insurance premiums for approximately 24 million people didn't skyrocket. Republicans said, no, we don't want to include the extension. We'll just negotiate on that later. So then Democrats said, you literally never negotiate with us, and you control every part of government right now. So no, we're not going to take that as an answer. And cue shutdown. Now, throughout this shutdown, Trump tried repeatedly to slash American jobs and welfare and then blame Democrats for it. He tried to lay off thousands of federal workers, but was thankfully stopped by judges. And he keeps trying to withhold SNAP funding. And his lawyers even said that feeding hungry families would undermine his political power during this shutdown. Cool. So everything is getting worse while a small bipartisan group negotiates. Democrats suggest extending health tax credits for just 1 year, and Republicans said nope. Now, 8 senators in the Democratic caucus have voted yes to a measure that would fund federal agencies through January. This measure does not immediately extend ACA subsidies, the whole reason for the shutdown, but rather says that the Senate will hold a vote on it in December. This is now passed in the Senate with a 60-40 vote and will go to the House for approval. So who were these senators who caved? Well, these guys, ones who are not up for re-election anytime soon, so there's less threat to their power. Some are also from states like Virginia that were heavily hit by Trump's revenge tour, like the federal layoffs. So they've tried to justify their vote, saying that there's now at least a promise on the ACA vote, and at least they're helping with the federal jobs being saved. Did they not see that judges were already on top of?
All right, here's everybody's favorite guy.
Worth having the fight going on as long as it did to shut down the government.
Fighting for the health care of the American people, fighting to drive down the high cost of living, fighting to lift up the quality of life of everyday Americans will always be worth it. It's unfortunate that Republicans have decided that they were going to shut the government down. They decided to rip away SNAP benefits from 42 million Americans when the money existed to make sure that not a single person went hungry. They decided that they would rather find $40 billion to bail out Argentina, but can't find a dime to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credit.
So the short answer is yes, the shutdown was worth it.
The short answer is shutdowns are never things to be embraced. And unfortunately, Republicans decided to embrace a shutdown with their complete control of government rather than sit down with Democrats and find a bipartisan path forward.
You mentioned that of those 8 Democrats in the Senate who voted ultimately with Republicans to end the shutdown, you said they're going to have to explain themselves. What does that mean?
Well, they're going to have to explain their vote, just like all of us when we go back home into our districts, if you're a member of the House, or whether you represent an entire state, as is the case in the United States Senate, and explain their votes to the American people.
Because when you say they have to explain themselves, it makes it sound like they've got something to explain.
We all
Not
have
just, well, I'm sure you all have to explain,
but
but
you know, John, we all listen on every single vote, particularly high profile.
All right, let's go to this last one.
Just wow.
Has completely caved to the Republicans and gave up way more than expected to end this shutdown. Democrat leadership is furious with 8 of its own party members after they broke with the party line and voted to advance a Republican funding bill through the Senate. And the bill is a massive loss for the liberals in these 2 categories. First, the Democrats' entire game plan for prolonging the shutdown was to prove to their base that they are capable of standing up to the Republicans and winning. However, after weeks of stonewalling where they failed to secure a single one of their demands, it was ultimately the Democrats who embarrassingly caved and accepted a deal that was presented to them weeks ago. The agreement will fund the government through the year, rehire all laid off employees, and give back pay to federal workers. But what it notably doesn't include, and this is the one thing that the Democrats were holding out for, is a measure to extend affordable care benefits set to expire by the end of the year. And had the Democrats agreed to this deal weeks ago, they could have prevented a lot of suffering for the American people.
All right. Close to 3 different perspectives, fellas. What is y'all thoughts? The government shutdown has ended. I think Trump just signed the bill, yeah, I guess the shutdown's over. What is y'all thoughts?
I think the Democrats got to hold this one because, like, if you didn't get nothing, not one of your concessions after people went hungry and they, shut down the government, it was people not getting paid and stuff, and you didn't get anything out of it. Like it just showed like that's just you too weak to lead, because like if you gonna stand on the line, you might as well stand on the line till you get something, but don't just like starve people out for 3 weeks or however long to a month or so, and then not nothing to show for it. Like I think that's kind of insane, and you was this far, why turn around now? We were here, so I don't understand it.
Yeah, they made Democrats look weak again. It's just like Hakeem Jeffries. Republicans are evil, but Democrats be disingenuous, and like that's what I don't like about him. Even in that response and him like going around the answers, it's like, bro, what are y'all doing? And if he's talking about this healthcare shit, but keep it real, America don't care about people's health for real. If you would change the food that we serve and all this processed and chemical shit and fast food, and we got the worst diet on the planet, it's just like none of them they use work, and so they kind of showing that they powerless again. People about to get back pay. If he do drop the $2,000 checks right before Christmas, psychologically that's about to fuck things up, you know. So they don't want to get behind people who have a shining light in their party. Mamdani or different people, they didn't even support him in New York, and he's the brightest lights the Democrats has had outside of like Jasmine Crockett and different people, but AOC, but they've become like caricatures of themselves. But you got Mamdani, you got to kind of, they need to find their new, like real, genuine people, lead the political wordplay, and like be real, because you going up against idiots, but they're also transparent idiots, like, and telling you what they go do and what they not go do. While Democrats are still playing politics with nobody but themselves, like, and it's crazy. I think they don't think that the populace really sees through them. Like, I think they've been used to that political formula of most people being done, which they still are in a lot of ways, but they also don't like their intelligence insulted. Like what you just saw in New York with the propaganda that they try to put out. It's like, whoa, y'all still doing that shit? Like call people terrorists and stuff, so the Democrats be on that, but I'm glad it's back open. My neighbor worked for TSA. They ain't been getting paid for a month. Like I didn't even know it was that real. The flights and stuff. So I'm glad it's back open, and I hope people get double their pay and all of that back and quickly. But it is crazy this went on this long, man. What are y'all doing then this season? It's about to be Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like, what are y'all doing?
Gotcha. G.
Yeah, man. For it to get to this point, they could have did this a month ago. You know what I'm saying? Like if this is all it took to keep the government open, this could have been done weeks ago. So it's just, it doesn't make any sense. Politics playing with people's real lives, and it's a shame that, like I said, like we wouldn't accept this if Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, any of these major NVIDIA, any of these big tech companies say, we shutting down for a month, nobody's getting any production, you can't use our site, like we would be going crazy. But the U.S. government shut down for a month, got people out here missing checks. Airport traffic controls thing is a whole other situation. Like, man, it's a terrible example that the politicians are exhibiting for the people. So for it to get to this point, man, all that back and forth and name calling and blaming just to have this be the resolution is shameful. So we'll see what even really comes of it, because this, to me, just kind of kicks the can down the road. Who's not to say we won't be here when it's time to, quote unquote, go back to the table, and then we had another standstill in December or January. So we'll see. I just think it's more likely that we'll have another shutdown in a few months.
So help me understand. So I know in December it's pushed to where they're able to, or they're going to I guess attempt to negotiate with the whole healthcare thing, but there's another shutdown that can happen in December. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Like allegedly the reason why the government shut down was because they was negotiating healthcare. So we opening back up, and there's still no terms agreed to when it comes to the healthcare situation. So what's going to move the needle in December or January when it comes time to negotiate on healthcare? Like, who's going to budge? You know what I'm saying? And if
but right now, but currently the Republicans, they have the majority. Do they still need to negotiate? Isn't that what this whole piece right here was for? Being that they have the majority now, they don't really need to negotiate, do they?
In theory, but it could lead to another shutdown, is what I'm saying. Like, I think.
Okay, so are you saying that you think that some of the Republicans will kind of push back away from the whole doubling or tripling of the premiums. And
yeah, we've seen a few do that already. The Marjorie Taylor Greens, if you will. Like we've started to see some Republicans who have traditionally been like pro-Trump speaking out against this and saying how people need to put their pride aside and put Americans first. So, we'll see how that ends up trending over the next few weeks here.
Gotcha. And I guess so obviously it sounds like everybody thinks that the Dems have lost the shutdown. Maybe Johnny thinks differently. Go ahead, Johnny.
Oh no, I just wanted to big shout out to the veterans. It was Veterans Day yesterday, and a lot of them wasn't getting paid. Them TSA folks, they just had some airplanes out in LA about running into each other, and like them folks is government employees, and they've been taxing. They keep us safe, especially them airplane folks. So damn, I shouldn't have went dark right there. But
traffic
especially shout out to them because like they keep us safe, and they wasn't getting paid, and that's a hard job, and it's a scary thing. I get scared every time I get on the plane. So I'm glad they're gonna be getting paid for sure.
Gotcha. So I guess with this said though, it sounds like everybody's saying that the Dems lost this. What does this mean for the average American? The biggest pain point in this, when you get away from like the fodder of like this money's going to Argentina, this is going to LGBTQ surgeries in Zambia or Nambia, or wherever the hell they be saying it should be at. What does this mean for the average American? If things does happen, I think the Republicans were saying they were giving free Medicare to the illegal immigrants, and because of that, we need to go ahead and get rid of this whole Obamacare thing. They ain't fuck with it anyway. And the Dems are saying now that this is going to go through, premium prices are going to double and triple. I think that this is where Marjorie Taylor Greene kind of is taking a stance as well, where I guess they're getting rid of the subsidies, and it's not necessarily that they're tripling; they're just getting rid of the subsidies or whatever. But what is your thoughts? How's it going to hit the American people?
I mean, I think it just shows that we got a broken system, and that we need some fundamental changes. Because I mean, how many times has the government down over the last 6-7 years? It happens damn near almost every year, and it's I mean, it kind of comes back to the same thing. These people on both sides to go up there, and then for whatever reason, whether it's corporate interest or something, they over and over and over don't do what's right for the American people. And if they do this, and we talking about another shutdown in 3 months, like as American people, we got to realize this thing that we're doing isn't working on both sides. And I mean, we just got to really kind of understand that, because nobody's happy, whether you on the left, whether you on the right. I think that's the biggest kind of consensus of the American people, is nobody is really happy with how it's going on in DC. So I think this is just the one of the biggest indicators of that for sure.
Okay, so I guess you're saying that it means that the American people are just going to be unhappy. I
think we should realize how broken it is, though.
I know, I understand. I'm just talking about the actual the reality that's about to change for the American people.
I mean, that's the thing. It feels like people's prices are about to go up even more. I mean, it's with the same narrative of, you in the grocery store, prices are up. And now when it comes to your healthcare services, according to what's going on with this rhetoric, they say that people's prices are going to significantly increase. Now, some people I've heard say they've already seen the impact of these prices increasing due to some of the rhetoric that's been going on. So, look, I think it's just unfortunate all around, not just the healthcare, but the SNAP benefits, everything that's been set up to help, more underserved communities and folks in the country. They're ripping away that safety net, man. It's like that's what it seems like. They really ripping away that safety net, and they're gonna try to. It's already tough enough. Like, people go bankrupt just for having babies, for example, because they can't afford to be in the hospital and doing things. So it just seems like we're going to fall deeper into this, privatized sort of service, which is a shift from the idea of making healthcare universal. It seems like they're trying to make it more exclusive, is what it seems like.
Yeah, I guess like one thing that I'd say, going to what you just stated, the conversations that I've been around per se, not necessarily particularly participating because it's not necessarily um, involving me, but like you said, premiums doubling with the price of, let's say, childbirth. People don't realize that that comes with, a bill at the doctor. And now when you eliminate these subsidies that was cutting it by 2/3 almost, this does, like it almost puts you inside a space of like a cycle. I wouldn't say it's like a literal cycle of poverty, but it does indebt people to the system in general. But then that then goes the same difference with a lot of these medications that people have to take. And so I know that has been just a conversation that I've seen some people around me having, even just, even inside my household, just like, damn, if these do triple, like how we going, like which way are we going to handle this insurance, not insurance, this whole insurance thing. Like who's carrying what, who's making sure that what is it, the flexible spending account got X amount of money. Like it does elicit a whole different version of planning, especially when you got like kids. You think about what that dentist hit for now, with that, just them regular checkups. You got a kid that play a sport with that just the basic physical. Not saying he sprang a wrist or something like that. That has been a conversation. Johnny, I think you're about to say something.
Yeah, no, I just literally just like kind of thought of this. I was sitting back. We had the Luigi thing that happened. Was that earlier this year or was that last year?
Somewhere in there.
It was a year ago, and like the American public kind of like made their feelings known about like the state of healthcare and how insurance kind of does people wrong. Do you think there's any like correlation, or is this a coincidence, or is this like a government just like kind of really kind of putting the middle finger to our face over like we just kind of went through like American people like having a grievance with insurance companies and the corporate greed that comes in healthcare, and then now they trying to raise our premiums again. I don't know if that's it seems like they really don't care what we think, or they just see what we feel and just gonna.
Yeah, I mean, like I to be honest, I know I can't personally articulate the rights or the Republicans' POV on this outside of like the whole immigrant getting free Medicare and why they're okay with this part. And this is where like I said, you have some Republicans that are pushing back on it as well, because a lot of MAGA is rural MAGA, and this is going to impact a lot. Like again, maybe somebody else in here can articulate what the positive of them doing this is on the right. I know, I'm not abreast.
It's a budget issue at the end of the day. I think is the way they see it. It's like a waste of money. Like it ain't really no real argument. Like,
yeah, and that's what I've heard that part, and that's what those would be.
There's so many
negative arguments where it's like, so for the big beautiful bill, and even if you look at the ICE agents and like a lot of these people, where the money is coming from is going to be taken away from the cuts that are happening inside the Medicaid bill. So those are the things that, like, I guess if you want to tangibly say it, but again, like I said, I'm sure there's a good faith Republican version of why they're doing it. I just don't know it personally. Hey, Black, talk to us.
Yeah, what's the question again?
How do you think that if all these things do go through, the repealing of Obamacare, the repealing back of the subsidies that have been able to, I guess, to an extent, put the premiums under control a little bit. What do you think the impact of this whole opening up the government shutdown without any concessions, what it would do to the average American person?
I don't know, to be honest. I think it's to be seen. I mean, if I had to guess, of course, I would agree that prices are going to go up in certain areas and certain fields for sure. But I don't know. Like, I feel like this cycle of just paying whatever you're being charged, like eventually people have to be like, we just not going to pay that for something. Whether it's gas, whether it's food, I feel like they raise prices on things, and we just be like, all right, whatever you say, we don't got no choice. I feel like that's American problems. I think the Republicans, they know that. It's like whatever we charge, whatever we do got to do to save money, and whoever the Fed, whatever, they'll figure it out. They are kind of callous in that regard, and you don't really know the Democrats' true agenda either. But for the regular person, I mean, I think the plan should be the same of like making sure you're saving and keeping a nest egg and trying to have some type of out somewhere just in case. Just in case the value of the dollar plummets, then none of this shit matters, and everybody out here scrambling for food and eggs and shit. So you never know. I feel like us as a people and grown men should always be trying to be having a backup plan, no matter how extreme it might sound. But like, pick a country. It might not be Africa, it might be Belize, it might be Europe, it might be somewhere where it's like I got a second passport, I got a second citizenship, I got something saved up to where and not only money saved, but other form values of money. It might be Bitcoin and shit. Like I say, we don't know what will happen with the dollar. Do you have another currency value? Do you have some euros? So I think people really got to start thinking that about themselves more and less of government dependency, because I think they are showing they don't really care about people under a certain rung. So it's like you better be out for yourself and thinking about yourself and creating plans, because this whole dependency of the government has to create these social programs and the government has to give you food. Them days might be cut for a minute, at least until these guys get out of power, but they're not into that shit. No matter how it's needed. The SNAP shit was crazy, because it's like it's more than, yes, people taking advantage of it, but old people need SNAP. Pregnant women need SNAP. College kids need SNAP. Anybody who can't work full time, they deserve some type of stipend. And we the richest country in the world. When you see our money being given out, it's like somebody who owe you money, and you see them partying, and you in Argentina, you in Venezuela, you in Israel, and you everywhere dancing and giving out money and concessions, and your people out here struggling, your government shut down, except for the IRS, because they still out here trying to get niggas taxes and auditing people from 21 and 22 and, reversing sick credits and COVID credits. And a lot of that's going on right now too. So all the government ain't shut down. It's just crazy. People our people, we can't really depend, or like, what are they going to do? Are they going to get it right? Because they don't care about you right now. So we really better care about ourselves. Try to own something. Start reading, knowing the fine print, and paying attention to these changes that's being made amidst the distractions. They're changing policies and they're changing a lot of shit amidst all Trump's antics and stuff. They making some moves. So people just have to create an exit plan, or at least start to consider and think about, what if America crumbles or becomes something? They're doing social experiments with the military takeovers, the ICE running around, mass. Like, I feel like these are all little psyops. And
I was saying that, yeah. It's just social experiments, see what they can get away with.
Yeah, they testing out little small things and seeing how desensitized has this country become, and it's bad. Like, niggas is gonna be TikToking through the apocalypse. I'm telling you. Like,
but see, I do want to add something, because I'm with you, A Black. I think like it's finna get dark, but I think like the one thing we do have to worry about too, which I'm a little scared of, is like, complacency. Comfort makes complacency. So like I think you could get away with a lot of that when America's doing good. When the people have extra spending money and stuff, you can do a lot of that, bullshit, because like, the reason we do it is for the comfort. As you take away our comforts and we start regressing back to the average, we're gonna start demanding more of our government. And I think that's something we do, have to be afraid of. So we better, probably get into it a little later. But the one thing I'm scared of is like, if like some of these other folks start starving, we already seen what they did in January 6th, and we already see, know what some of these people are about. And I think MAGAs, these people could turn on even like some of the ones on their own, and I think that would make a very, scary place to live. And I think that's something that we need to be worried about is if this MAGA thing splits, it could get ugly. It could get, we'll never know how it could go. And
you saw his interview with Laura Ingraham.
Oh, we're gonna touch on a bunch of those. Yeah.
Oh yeah, white on white crime about to go through the roof.
That's where people do wild things.
But I don't know. It's weird about like when white people struggle, they like to take it out on minorities. But
if we all hungry, like if we all hungry though, they gonna turn around and like you can't be like you can't. Everybody can't.
They gonna just want to make sure that they eating a little more than that black and Hispanic person. But
they ain't trying to feed nobody though. That's the fucked up part. They try to take it away from everybody.
Listen, I get it. That's all I'm saying is that you know how to distract the white. Listen, we going corporate. We ain't gotta go there. All right. So nonetheless, the last of the icebreakers. Again, this has been a busy week when it's come down to the right. And again, there's been two big things that have been happening today. And they've almost happened simultaneously. And this other one has been Trump. He's been making the calls. He's been trying to stop the vote. Little reminiscent, I guess, of January 6th, right? But I guess I'll push play on a couple of these, and we can have a conversation.
Epstein files has Trump's last-minute crisis push to hide the Epstein files has failed. The President of the United States mounting a last-minute campaign to try to turn Republicans who had signed on to release the complete Epstein files, but they defied him. And tonight, the motion moves forward to a full House vote, something Speaker Johnson had delayed for nearly 2 months. Delayed this Epstein vote by nearly 2 months by refusing to swear in the newest member of Congress, Adelita Grijalva. Here's why, from the Republican who is leading the charge to release the Epstein files.
I've already had a couple Republicans tell my office privately that they're going to vote for it, and I think that could snowball.
Snowball. He's talking about the full vote, that tonight's move makes reality that vote is going to happen. He's talking about
push play in a couple more. There's been the emails that the right has, not the right, the left has been leaking. That these are directly out of these files, I'm guessing.
Definitely better get that stimmy.
Out of Jeffrey Epstein estate files that have been released by House Oversight Democrats today. This is one that Donald Trump really didn't want the public to see, but here it is. On August 23rd, 2018, Jeffrey Epstein sends a Kathy Lumiere quote, "You see, I know how dirty Donald is. My guess is that non-lawyers, New York business people have no idea what it means to have your fixer flip." This is referring to they're having a back and forth conversation about Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former fixer and former lawyer, back in 2018. The steady drip of Epstein documents that we're seeing today is only getting worse for the President of the United States, and he is desperately trying to stop them. And it really seems as though the day of reckoning is coming for the...
We'll get to that. He did a couple more.
Bombshell news about Jeffrey Epstein. Newly released documents in the past hours show that Jeffrey Epstein said he attended a meeting with Andrew, formerly known as Prince Andrew, and Donald Trump in London back in 2019, just about 1 month before Epstein was arrested by federal authorities on sex trafficking charges. Presumably, Donald Trump would have known that Epstein was under investigation at this time, and yet, if he met with him, that would still be a bombshell. Check out this document released by the House Oversight Committee. It's an email from Epstein's email saying Prince Andrew and Trump today, too funny. In a further communication, he talks about how Trump thought he was king as well. Now, we don't have confirmation that Epstein attended this meeting with Prince Andrew and Donald Trump, but what we do have confirmation is that this meeting did occur. Andrew and Trump met in London back in 2019.
All right, fellas.
Man, I think so. The coincidence of this is where I kind of say, okay, let me see if the Democrats might be playing some chess here, because did they concede the shutdown to get the Epstein shit popping potentially? I'm wondering if they like, you know what?
Because those two did have to happen together. That is, yeah.
It's kind of going hand in hand. So I'm like, because now that they got the emails and they start leaking shit, it's like, okay, are they stirring up the pot like strategically, timing wise, to say, all right, we're not gonna get what we need from the shutdown. Let's go ahead and pass this through, but we got them say to the fire on this Epstein thing. And the thing about Epstein is that this is a bipartisan thing. Republicans and Democrats want to see them files, and so like the clip showed that something could snowball here from the Republican side. But I don't think it's a coincidence that this Epstein thing cracks on the same day that the alleged shutdown ends. When we see the terms in which the shutdown ends, it's like, why is this happening now? But then when you see the Epstein thing going on, it's like, could this be the strategy here to try and nail him to the cross with the Epstein stuff? So that's something that I'm curious to see.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I guess to my understanding, the shutdown was the only thing that was delaying the Democrat lady from getting sworn in. That was going to be the tie-breaking vote. So as soon as it ended, it's kind of like it had to happen back to back, kind of like that.
Okay.
Johnny.
I mean, I don't know why we need to see anymore. Like, I mean, he's been talked about there. He's been proven. Like, we know what happened on that island at this point. Like, I mean, we don't even, like, the American people, like, they should be pushing to impeach this guy because it's like clearly he was doing something that, like, he probably shouldn't have been doing. They already got rid of Prince Andrew across the pond and stuff. So, I mean, it's clearly like some nefarious things were going on. You were involved. You knew about it. And yeah, I don't know why they playing with it. Like we don't need all the proof. Like, I mean, you can clearly see what's going on. So, like, I think at this point, of like,
I ain't gonna lie, I definitely would love for the files to get released because I also think that there's a bunch of Democrats in it too.
Yeah, gotta see the files.
Yeah.
There's other people who get implicated, but as far as Trump, he's implicated enough to where we know what's going on already. But yeah, I'd love to get everybody else too, for sure.
A Black, talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I heard. I'm just like, what are we supposed to do with this information? Like, Trump, he Teflon. Y'all been trying to lock this nigga up. Some emails that we can chat GPT, graphic design. To me, that's not enough right now. Like, you coming with some shit, like, that's enough to stir people up and create distractions. But where's the real proof? Like, I saw some chick talking the other day. She's supposed to be one of the victims. But somebody got to come with some hard proof or shut up about this because it feels real convenient, the timing of it. And if somebody got it and they sitting on it, then they complicit too. It's like, what are you waiting for the right time to drop it? And like, what are we gonna do? If it's nothing really damning, it's a waste of conversation because nobody's going to jail off of it right now. And if Giselle is still locked up, why the hell she ain't talking?
Oh no, she's smart. That's why
Trump got in that nice little jail.
Oh, he said it's a nice.
Yeah. She's smart right now. Listen, I heard that voicemail. She said, yeah, Trump ain't never did nothing around me. He's been an outstanding gentleman. I say, oh shit, I know.
Probably handing her a steak too. Probably cutting a ribeye saying that.
You do a little 5 years.
What they sent? What was it? The Trump lawyers, and they went in a room that was unrecorded. No what you call it? Like 3 hours. Yeah, they got
like, but I think there's already enough proof for like to where like we know Trump was there. Like, he's been proven to like be there. Like, there's been enough eyewitness evidence to where like.
Yeah, it's like no surprise. If it's like Bernie Sanders in there, I feel like that'd be breaking news. But like, Trump emails, they say, oh, okay.
But see, but I think the onus is on the people that are now who are still supporting him. Like, if you know this guy's doing like nefarious things, like, I think.
Well, they just go to say prove it. They gonna say it's a smear campaign, it's a hoax. That's what he calls it. A Democratic hoax.
He was on the island.
His fans gonna say the same thing because the email is not gonna convince them either.
I guess a little bit.
There's enough smoke that you know.
Fans?
Like,
well, so I guess to what you were saying, A Black, like what can happen out of it. I guess it's kind of what's happening, and I guess this alludes to like the bigger conversation is that with this in the Epstein files, this might have been the first time that we even initially seen any chinks in his armor. Because of before then, if you think back, the first time we heard about it was when Elon was like, "Hey, this nigga in the Epstein files, and then like 2 weeks later, they blocked all Epstein file shit, and then like we've been through this whole little rigmarole, but his base has been slowly turning against him into where I think right now, and again, like this is begging the question, the conversation for later. His approval is at the lowest it's ever been with his base, but more than that, you're seeing public disdain from him from all of his diehard supporters. So the Ben Shapiro's, the Margie Taylor Greens, the Candace Owens, the Brandon Tatum. Like you can kind of name all the like the talking heads, the Tucker Carlsons, the Nick Fuentes, like all the people that rang the bell. Right now, Trump is kind of getting close to being just outside by himself, which is just like a very interesting thing. So if I was to say a thing, because I do agree, releasing the emails, it's not necessarily like a real call to action because of Trump has kind of been Teflon Don. But what has been loosening up has been his grip on the GOP. Yeah, I guess that's a fair. But yeah, Johnny, I think you're about to jump in.
No, I'm just gonna say like I think where he's at, he's unsupportable. Because I mean, a lot of these people on the right, they base their thing, the Christian conservatives, the morally right and stuff. And the more he ties, I mean, there's like been plenty of evidence that has tied him directly with Epstein this whole time. And so like it makes it really hard to support him and still kind of look at yourself as like a decent, person. Or it's kind of hypocritical if you know this guy.
Let me ask you this: what do y'all think? And again, we can start segueing our way into it. We'll play some of the Laura Luma clips in a second. What do you think has hurt Trump's, I guess, approval with his base more? This Epstein stuff or Israel?
Epstein. Oh,
I think
Epstein.
Y'all think so?
Nah, what's happening in Israel? Come on.
Oh, like everything with Israel, Netanyahu, and the whole Gaza thing. Like so, right now,
the president has supported Israel. Trump,
but I'll say right now, like a good portion of his diehards, they haven't been favorable of what's happened in Gaza. So again, if you look at where the biggest splinter of MAGA is right now, is based around the anti-Semitism Israel conversation. So that's where the Ben Shapiro, the what's his name, Nick Fuentes beef originates from. This is where the Candace Owens versus Brandon Tatum beef originates from. This is where like all of the beefs between MAGA and what the disapproval of him is that a lot of the MAGA was no new wars and they was American first, to where they were against the foreign aid and any of that shit.
I think that's kind of a cop out because like every president has supported Israel. We've been giving money to Israel for years. I think it's convenient to use that against him when you don't want to support somebody that's like tied to that Epstein stuff, and you don't want necessarily, call them out, but you can take your support. And I think you're using that.
But what if they're not like critiquing him? What if they're not critiquing him on Israel? Not Israel, Epstein, but that's been what they've decided to wage war on him about. They're just doing that as a. I guess I'm trying to understand.
I just think that's convenient, but I mean,
so you don't think that
I think
Gaza like what's happening in Palestine right now is different than like I don't know, Trump's first presidency or anything like the literal, because I think that as it's happened right now and the conversation around it is way different than what any other president, maybe unless you go back to like I don't know, maybe close to Clinton or some shit like that. But like this has been like, this is a different beast of the Israel-Palestine thing.
That's true. No, I agree. Yeah, because this war has been, it's probably been 20 plus years since 05, 06, since they had a war in Gaza. But like, I think the Epstein thing is a bigger, chink in the armor where it's harder to like, they might start on the Israel thing, but like, it's hard for a president not to support Israel, where like the Epstein stuff is like so egregious and it's such a like, chink of your armor that I think that's the biggest,
I guess.
weakness.
Do you think that? I guess I don't know if enough real evidence has came out, but G, talk to us.
In terms of which one had more of an impact?
Yes, it had stained them a little bit more.
I mean, I feel like while the Israel thing is true, I just feel like he ran but one of the big pieces of his platform when he was running for president was the files. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of folks in his party, like even before the Israel stuff went down, have been adamant about like, where are the files? Where are the files? So
release the files.
I feel like that's been a sticking point ever since he got into office, and people have not let it go. And so yeah, I feel like that's ultimately I would vote for that one over Israel. But like I wouldn't deny, like the thing about the Israel situation and Trump is like even though there's like a split there, America's gonna do what America does regardless. Like we're gonna be in foreign affairs, we're gonna send that money abroad, we're gonna be in other people's business, we're gonna cause wars. Like this is the American way. So, you know, people can, you know, say what they want in terms of what they don't approve of as it relates to the foreign policy stuff, but I don't think it's moving the needle in terms of like these people are gonna like not support Trump. Whereas I think the files has really been a thing where it's like, no, this is where you said you were gonna give this to us and you're not giving us the files. So that's why I would vote for the files.
A Black.
He over there.
Oh, I think A Black on the phone. All right.
You're getting that dowry straight.
All right. Well, whenever A Black get back to us, we'll chop it. But we'll in the meantime, we'll start segueing our way into some of this conversation. I do think that this is another big one. We seen some of this split right here happen early on with what's his name? Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk. And in my opinion, it sounds like you're gonna hear Trump repeat almost word for word the paragraph that got Vivek kicked out of MAGA.
And too, I want to point out, like, this is the other thing too. Like, this isn't a CNN reporter interviewing Trump. You see what I'm saying?
Fox.
Like, this is supposed to be the home team. This is supposed to be setting them up for success. And so you're starting to see like folks are like, even the quote unquote home team is starting to set them up a little bit here. So I think that's
she tried to, and then she was like, "Wait, nah, that ain't quite it, bro."
She did good. I can't lie. She did good.
The H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration, because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. We
have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well,
I'll
give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing and very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way. No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here.
No, you don't have.
All right.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
And let's never start disagreeing. No, it's not.
It's like, you know, now he's not American. It's like instead of his we, it's like you don't have.
Oh no! Listen, he also said they wanted to get the immigrants out.
He sent them there, and he was like, "Oh shit, not them." He was like, "Not them."
The good ones. Fellas, talk to me.
I don't know. This is it's a wild one. And then like he dissed all of us too at the same time. It's like not just like his base, but like just as far as Americans, like be the president of America, and that's how you feel about us. Like, and then it's also crazy that you come to this conclusion after you was, sending ice to these factories you talking about need the talent. it's so crazy how you arrived to this conclusion. I mean, I can get it. Everyone started sending them away and was like, oh shit. And now we ain't got the talent. It's crazy how we always take the blame. Or we always gonna hold the L, but like this is a problem he created. It's a problem we don't have the talent. It's a problem with the American school system that our government has, lacked funding and stuff for years and stuff. So I mean, as the president of the United States, if we don't have talent, a lot of that kind of falls on him too. And
he called niggas bums. He said you can't just take somebody unemployed for 5 years and tell them to make some missiles.
But he's talking about us. That
was a wild way to talk about the American people.
Yo, he said these niggas bums. They ain't got no.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Like, be for real.
We can't hear you, A Black. You muted.
Be fucking for real is what he said.
Say these niggas ain't got no talent, man.
Let me play this while A Black gets his mic together. This is still kind of dealing within this same realm.
We have hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States. We have about 350,000 Chinese. One point during COVID, you were going to, push to, get them out, but that was pulled back. You've said as many as 600,000 Chinese students could come to the United States. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position when so many American kids want to go to school and there are places not for them, and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money?
Sure. Never said about China, but we do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
Well, I think that's a big deal.
Are they fans?
You would have the
historically, the United States?
Yeah, but you would have, as you know, historically black colleges and universities would all be out of business. You would have a system of colleges.
Hold up, time out.
The Chinese is
Oh shit! I didn't realize he said that.
Wait a minute. This nigga think he got a concussion, bro.
He said if we cut off the Chinese, the HBCU is gonna lose all their money.
I know he done lost his mind.
But listen, it gets. Well, I don't know if it gets better. I missed that part when I first heard it.
Not China, but I think it's good to have. I actually think it's good to have outside countries. Look, I want to be able to get along with the world.
They're not the French. They're the Chinese. They spy on us. They steal our intellectual property.
What, do you think the French are better?
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yes.
I'm not so sure. We had a lot of problems with the French, where we get taxed very unfairly on our technology. With they put 25% taxes on American products. Look, assuming everyone treats us badly, because that's the way I am, but we take in trillions of dollars from.
I think that we've got enough. Hey, fellas.
We definitely about to get them stimmies. This man is moonwalking backwards. He's scared. This sounds like a guy that's scared. That like
this is a very pro-immigration. He said, allow them inside out.
He was like, well, we don't want the HBCUs to shut down. Like,
no, that's just scapegoating black people, in my opinion.
But my thing is, I think the only way you're talking like that is because and then I'm pretty sure he's gonna drop the tariff money right before Christmas. Something gonna happen. Like I think like with the list or something. I feel like he's just kind of patting his stats, trying to kind of butter people up before something bad happens.
But my thing, I don't think none of this interview is patting his stats for MAGA at all.
I'm talking about with the rest of America. I'm talking about like he's trying to
I don't think he cares about the rest of America.
But he's talking about HBC. I'm saying I don't think he cares about it. But I think this is his attempt.
I don't think he said that favorably of HBCUs at all. In my opinion, it sounded like he was throwing us under the bus.
Sounded like he said HBCUs can't survive without foreign students.
Without Chinese.
I thought he was saying they didn't want us to shut down.
Because we be getting immigrants.
We be losing so much money if we cut them off that half the college. Basically said like if we cut off these students from China and these other countries, half the college is going to go out of business, and the HBCUs are going to be one of them. Like
we literally got 2 Chinese students.
Like that. That's why we all laugh, Jack. Because that's probably if you've been on the HBCU campus.
That's the least likely.
Yes, I don't think it's a bunch of Chinese kids. I thought he was trying to, help the HBCUs out. But
No.
Okay,
Scapegoating them.
I had to watch that part again because it was random. I ain't like, why are you even talking about us?
He was like,
we can play it back.
He was like, bitch, let me hear you respond when I say HBCU, bitch. I bet you won't. I bet you won't say that now. He was like,
Chinese money.
Sure. Never said.
Here we go. And there are places not for them, and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money.
Sure. Never said about China, but we do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
Well, I think that's a big deal.
Are they fancy?
You would have the
historically, the United States.
Yeah, but you would have, as you know, historically black colleges and universities would all be out of business. You would have a system of colleges.
Okay, I see what he's saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what he's saying. He was saying if basically a lot of HBCUs survive off of state funding.
I think they're talking about the money that's coming in from immigration. The whole frame of this conversation is about.
They weren't necessarily talking about Chinese immigrants either. For the HBCUs.
Either like the majority of black kids at HBCUs, even if we was to take it inside its most charitable way, are not immigrants at all. Okay, the highest performing ones sometimes end up being like African immigrants, but the majority is not immigrants.
Like not. I'm talking about immigrants where maybe they might be first generation type, or they like I'm talking about they didn't come to America just to go to the school type shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like maybe they were already immigrated over here, grew up here, and then went to a HBCU. But you don't see too many people who like get off the plane, go to school, and go to the HBCU like the way you might see it like a Duke or a UNC or something like that.
All right. I guess we listen. Trump has the greatest hits from this interview. So I guess I'll go to the next one.
I was just like I said, I was surprised that the Fox News host, the lady, was giving him like some pushback there. Like she was actually doing a decent job with the interview in a way that where she didn't seem like too much in his pocket. Like she seemed like she was really almost setting him up to look kind of crazy a couple times.
Yeah.
That your administration, housing costs are still out of reach. And another thing that your administration is trying to tackle, many Americans, the average age of first-time home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad. The country you and I grew up in.
I inherited that. Look, you have to understand.
Right, but let me get to the question though, because your housing director has proposed something that has enraged your MAGA friends, which is this 50-year mortgage idea. So a significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging the time it would take for Americans to own a home outright. Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, you go from 40 to 50 years, and what it means is 50, you pay something less from 30. That some people had a 40, and then now they have a 50. All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time. It's not like a big factor. It might help a little bit. But the problem was that Biden did this. He increased the interest rates. And I have a lousy Fed person who's going to be gone in a few months. This is funny. Fortunately, I have a guy too late. Jerome Powell, we call him too late. He was too late in everything, except when it came to before the Democrat, so-called Democrat election. Which
call him too late.
But we're going to get interest rates down. But even with interest rates up, the economy is the strongest it's ever been. You asked me, just to go back to the beginning of your question, you talked about prices. We're down on energy. We're down on interest rate. Interest rates are down despite the Fed. Now, if we had a normal person at the Fed, would have really low interest rates, and we
too late. Bro, that shit is hilarious. Bro, this nigga can't help but get the jokes off. That shit was he did it off the cuff too. That shit is funny.
Yeah, imagine finding out you about to get fired like that. Like he was watching, like what?
Trump do be roasting cats sometimes. Like that's a good ass roast.
Oh no, if it's one thing, you got to give it to him. Like he can rip, and he do it streamlined too. Like he just.
Straight face.
Yo, how did the lady sit across from him and not like buzz out laughing when this nigga just called this nigga too late? That is funny, boy.
All right, so y'all rolling with the with the 50-year mortgages. Let
me share one little piece of information as relates to this, because this is such a short-sighted way to quote unquote make things affordable, right? So if you look at a 30-year mortgage, let's just say 5%, the total amount you're gonna pay just in interest on a $400,000 home is about $375,000. You gonna pay for a $400,000 home for a 30-year mortgage. You're going to pay a total of about $775,000.
About to crack $1 million.
And your monthly payment is going to be about $2,150. If you stretch that to 50 years with the same rate for the same house, your monthly payment goes from $2,150 to essentially $1,900. So you ain't really saving that much money every single month.
Save $200, but tell them what it is on the back end. Pause.
The total amount you're gonna pay is over 1.1 million, and the interest alone is gonna be more than what you would have paid total for the 30 year. So the total amount you would have paid for the 30 year would have been $775 or $773. The total interest you pay on the 50 year is $756 alone. So it's like, you really, it really only benefits the lenders, the financial institutions. That's all it does. It just further cripples.
It doesn't even get close to making
consumers.
it affordable.
It's like, and I'm just here to tell you right now, if you are looking to own a home and the difference of $200 a month is what's making or breaking your decision, you cannot afford it, my friend.
Yeah, you be selling homes too, don't you? You in a realtor business, right?
My wife is the realtor, so I'm just adjacent to a lot of the deals. We own a business in which we have a commercial property and everything. But if $200 is the thing stopping you from quote unquote pulling the trigger on being a homeowner, you probably are not ready to be a homeowner. That's just the reality. I'm sorry.
It's like, if you got a 50-year mortgage, how long you gonna be working? Like, you gonna be working your whole life. Like, you can't retire.
Yeah, that's
like,
I guess that push you, like, if you got your house at 20, it puts you to 70 pretty much, right?
Yeah, most of us getting houses at like 30, so that's 80. You finally free. 80 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, that's like to me, like we know Trump comes from the business world, but that's sleazy business tactics.
It just makes it more likely you're gonna get foreclosed on later in life.
Predatory. It's predatory, and like on the homes, like, you know, because those are appreciating assets supposed to be. Like with the car, they're trying to stretch it to 15.
Oh, we're gonna build it. We're about to build today. Yeah.
To me, that's the worst.
Crazy for depreciating.
I never tell nobody.
And you're in the business of selling cars.
I never. I don't go. I think 7 is like crazy. You know, it started, but to get
7 is wild.
To get to 15, like, that's just predatory. That's what you see with the buy here, pay your lots. That's some of the things, see, like with these cash, check advance places. That's just predatory business practices. And if you think about it, like they say, this is a bailout to the banks. I think if we look back at like when banks went from like the 5-10 year mortgages to 15 and 30 years, you can see an increase in, like, you know, a lot of the price and values and stuff like that, and this end up being just another transfer of wealth sometimes, especially if you tying people in to debt for this long. It's going to create a permanent, like, basically underclass for everybody who has to buy.
It's a permanent rental group.
It's creating the scary thing, and so, like,
it actually wouldn't even be a benefit to buying a house anymore. Like, you might as well just go ahead and lease.
Just rent. I mean, that's basically all you're doing
rent,
at that point is renting. Like, if you don't get to, like, you're renting it, like, it's crazy. So, like, I think we just see what kind of, you know, businessman he is, and I think that's just sleazy as hell.
Gotcha. And I guess, Johnny, you did throw to this, so I guess I'll toss it to A Black and G. What is your thoughts on the 15-year car payment that he's also attempting to roll out? He's doing a rollout this week where, again, the 50-year mortgage, he dropped a tweet on that. He dropped a tweet on the $2,000 tariffs, and then he said, "You know what? 15-year car payments also."
Nah, if I can't pay a car in 5 years, I don't want it. I can't afford it. Like 5 years is the max. House 20, 30 is standard, but 50 years, nigga, nah, I'm not signing nothing 50 years. For nobody. But yeah, car. If you got you need to get a cheaper used car. 15-year contracts and payments and shit, because by the time you pay that car off, what's it going to be worth in 15 years? With the way cars appreciate.
How many Americans even keep their car for 5 years, let alone 10? Like, I don't even know. Like, who the last nigga you know who had a car for 15 years for real? Yeah,
like cars don't last
true.
that long. And another thing with the 50-year thing, if you look at like America, like even in like a perfect world, like if you're buying your house at 25 with a 50-year mortgage, your life expectancy 75 years? Like you're basically like signing up for almost like an indentured servitude type of thing where you're gonna be working and paying off this thing that you'll never really own. Like at 30,
your asset gonna go straight to the bank.
I can't do 50-year mortgage at like at any of our ages. Like that's just insane. And I don't know how people gonna react to that. I don't know how like the banks are gonna sell that without people not knowing it's.
Oh, they gonna sell it. They're gonna sell it. Niggas are gonna buy it.
Well, people gonna buy it. They'll buy anything, but
like
yeah, like if you're in the business of being smart about it, I guess like if you take that,
Rent-A-Center was in business,
and you pay straight to what is this shit called? Pay straight to the principal, to where you still get it paid off. You probably could pay it off a little earlier too, if you put that $300. What is that? Yeah, about $300 to $400 straight to principal and still pay that $2,300 payment. That's the only way you can make this work inside of like financially literate way. But yeah, outside of that, it's pretty much indentured servitude. I think y'all kind of said it best.
The only way the 50-year it has any sort of like value is if you are like very savvy and coming with a significant amount down, and you are just gonna, you're just gonna like keep it short term and flip it, you know what I'm saying? But you putting a significant amount of money down up front. Like that's where I can see it making some sense from an investment standpoint. But generally speaking, for owners, when you
I see. Yeah, because the flip would make and even if you just leasing it out, it would make a little bit more sense too, because you still get the lower rate. And then you're eventually gonna sell it anyway.
Exactly. That's if you're gonna flip. But even then, like the rules for financing when you're investing versus when you're living in the home is different terms, different contracts. Yeah. So I don't even know if a 50-year probably wouldn't even be available for investors. It would be for folks like first time home buying programs, things like that.
And shit like that. No. But I guess the more you think about it though, if we think that for the person that's doing the flip, then it still ends up benefiting the big corporations, because like we all know and understand that during COVID, it was a bunch of corporations under LLCs buying up massive properties that they're pretty much flipping, or not it's not Zillow. What's the housing thing that they started trying to sell flipped houses on? But it's Open Door. That's what it is. Yeah, Open Door. Like it's still a play for the corporations, because of they bought up so much of like the stockpile of new build houses. But I guess, fellas, this has led us to the main question. So again, we've kind of talked through how we just watched the interview where Fox News is pushing back on Trump like it's CNN. You'd have thought that was a CNN host right there. You've heard Marjorie Taylor Greene push back. You've heard the Ben Shapiro push back on CNN at that. You've seen the Officer Tatum, the Candace Owens, I'm trying to think of more the Nick Fuentes, like all these diehard MAGAs have been pushing back against Trump. And whether it was the Epstein files, some of his takes on Israel, the idea of the no new wars, the H1B1, him not literally draining the swamp. What's the new joke happening right now? They had the MAGA hats out at the food bank inside Middle America. Right now, is this, or I guess, has the right fractured? Are we watching a fractured MAGA? Is the MAGA bubble busting right now? What's your thoughts?
I think so. Well, I think like it's definitely like we looking at it like a bone. It's definitely like a hairline fracture, or there's a crack. I don't know if it's a complete snap yet. I don't know if it could be saved, but there's definitely a crack, a chink in the arm. Well, I don't know what to say that, but yeah, it's a it's a weakness there, a rift, if you would say. But yeah, I definitely think it's the start. I think it's definitely gonna get worse. This is only the beginning. And you see Trump like he ain't making it no better. Like I think Trump's just he's stubborn. He gonna do what he gonna do. But I think a lot of people on the right are kind of getting tired of it, and they kind of see it is they see through the game too. So I don't know where it's gonna end, but I think it's definitely the beginning of a divide, a big divide.
Yeah, I don't think it's it's not major yet. I mean, as long as they all still unify under the banner of whiteness, they gonna be intact. But I do think you starting to see a lot of the classism be more overt on that side, and I think that's what's about to be the new thing, where we on autopilot in our community as far as like self-destruction, and as we not much as a priority, I feel like, as we think. And so white people and rich white people are kind of, I feel like, getting back to, I don't care about everybody white no more. I care about rich whites, and then you seeing the poor whites, and you seeing the diehard whites. Like, we don't want no immigrants. We don't want no giving up people no money. So now you're seeing that pushback with them. So I think it's more of a class thing that we're about to start seeing in that party, a divide. But when it comes to being anti-Democrat or anti-LGBT or anybody else, they know when to come together. But I think since they are winning all them categories right now, for the most part, they got time to kind of do a little infighting. But let any of them other sides rear up, they'll unify again.
Okay. Do you think that I guess what was it, the elections that just happened this past weekend? It was I guess you would say like it was quote unquote a blue wave. Do you think that has any impact on this?
I think elections are pendulums. So if the Republicans are not satisfying, then it's going to be a blue wave. If they don't get what they want from this crop, it'll be a red wave again. It kind of goes back and forth. We dissatisfied, who's in power, Trump and Republicans. All right, we need to go back to Democrats. They get them back in, they get comfortable. Kind of the same swing back. And most people, it wasn't too many flips of red and blues, very few. But I think it definitely hurt them a little bit. But overall, they ain't losing now. If they get the House back and stuff later on, they might get some real power. But they just showed again that they're still kind of powerless. I think the New York thing was big, but it's also New York. New York is relatively liberal and progressive, and you know,
you had the Virginia with that white Democrat beating that black.
And that was interesting because you had Obama campaigning for the white lady. After dissing black men for not supporting Kamala blindly, you know, he went and campaigned against the black woman in Virginia. So I have noticed Obama seemed to be kind of getting a little bit more active again lately. I mean, I know he can't run again technically, but I feel like he's been getting more political, whereas he kind of strayed out the spotlight and making certain comments. He seemed to be getting more aggressive.
That's because the Dems need him. The Dems need a plan. So.
Yeah, he cashing the checks.
Yeah, they tell him get out there. I seen him there. What was it? The Veterans Day flight.
Yeah, I reposted that earlier. I did like that. I ain't no Barack fan, but I thought that was cool. Like shit, I'm about to go steal your court. You know, because
I mean that's all it takes.
It's easy to hate people. It's easy to hate people till they're in your face, and then it's like, oh, you know, it's not that bad.
No, this is a fact. So I guess I'll continue in asking. So we seen Trump, especially when you look at the youth vote, and kind of like the energy that swayed him a lot with whether it was the youth or some of that far right or just some of those people, the independents. It was his anti-establishmentness. Are we watching Trump now become the establishment? And the reverberations of him and that anti-establishment push is where we're seeing like this fracture happen. G, what's your thoughts?
Is he becoming the establishment? I think
rain on drain the swamp.
Yeah, I think
lock him up.
I think he definitely is proving that he's more of the establishment than an outsider that he tried to portray, for sure. Because the difference is, like you said, the difference is that he's his own establishment. So he's trying to solidify like what I feel his own legacy. He's trying to go make sure that when it's all said and done, he's got a certain narrative as it relates to his presidency. And I think that's the establishment that he cares about, is essentially like making sure his name is in good standing across the board here. And so that's why I think we see some of these attempts with the tariffs, the $2,000 checks, the 50-year mortgage, the 15-year car loan. Like he's starting to, he knows that these last few months have not done well for his image and his legacy. And so I'd be curious to see here over the next like 6 to 8 months, like how much it is sort of pandering to try and get people's favor starts to really happen, because I think this is only the beginning of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think to answer the question, yeah, he is the establishment, but it's like his own establishment. Like he's trying to you know, he was complaining about the oppressor just to act like the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants
right.
He's just stepping into the same shoes and trying to implement his own means of control. Even though he was so critical about how people in power were doing certain things, he's just stepping in their shoes and doing those things in his name to benefit himself.
He was just trying to get there. I got you. Johnny?
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely think he is like the establishment, but I think he always was, though. I mean, he's been a billionaire or a rich guy his whole life. He's been in that elite class. I think he ran a good campaign. I think he kind of, you know, did what he had to do to get the American people on his side.
Do you think that in his first term he was as an establishment though?
I think he was playing a role, but I think if you look now, like he might have got the establishment out as far as like the people, but he came and put his same people in there, and it's just playing the same game. He's using the same type of laws and everything. So he's establishment as far as like he got the people out that was in his way to keep him from using the system the way he wanted to. But he's very establishment in how he's going about doing what he wants to do as far as like using the system. And I think that's the biggest thing with him is I think he just tricked the American people he was a rich guy, and I think he wanted to use his power, you know. I think he wanted to use the American legal government system to have more power than he's got.
Gotcha. A Black.
Where are we at again? I thought I had spoke on it, so I just making sure.
This is has Trump went from anti-establishment to now being seen as the establishment from his base?
I think a lot of people that voted for him are definitely not getting what they expected or what they want. I don't know if they see him as the establishment yet. I think he need a little bit more tenure and a lot of more of his policies and things actually enacted for a certain amount of time to kind of see the effect of stuff. But I think you do see a lot of his base questioning more instead of just kind of following blindly and doing anybody but Democrats, like the Democrats do anybody but Trump thing. I think a lot of them are kind of starting to like see that, all right, my guy got in, my real life isn't changing as much. I'm still struggling. Money is still
shit might have got worse. Yeah.
So now they're looking like, well, what are we getting from this? Then you see, 40 billion to Argentina, 8 billion a year to Israel. The president in South Korea getting a gold crown. He's meeting in China. Now he's talking nice about China. He's doing a deal with them. So it's like a lot of these things have been happening. Like Johnny said, Israel been getting money for years from every president. But I think with social media and the way shit is being put out now, people are more aware of it. And it's like a lot of things that kind of used to happen that we didn't pay attention to, even the average person who's not into politics are starting to see like, well, damn, you got niggas in the barbershop talking about money going to Argentina. Like literally, I'm out there and I'm seeing like, dudes from around the way having these conversations.
Which is also fire too.
Yeah, but they're seeing it everywhere because now it's like, well, damn, why we can give money to other countries and we're struggling? Like, all right,
conditions are still
need aid and stuff, and then they're not honest about why they're doing it. You're not honest about. You're not trying to help people in Argentina. Like they got oil. They got proximity to Venezuela. You got the same with Israel. Everything is about some type of other interest that they hide as going into Nigeria to protect Christians, and Nigeria got oil. Like they got resources. They have things that they want to be a part of, and they don't be genuine about their efforts. And I think that narrative, like Mamdani was talking about, a lot of that's getting played out. A lot of that whole, we're about to go invade because of this and that. Like people are kind of over that, and they just want some money. It's like you gotta take care of the people, and then y'all can get back to being the evil empire. But if you're not taking care of your people, everybody go turn on you. And I think he juggling, he juggling the fence because he playing the foreign games, trying to get them checks in order. But you gotta take care of your people. And then like, all right, Christmas coming, nigga, drop them checks. They're easy to please. You know what Marie Antoinette say? Let them eat cake. Like throw them a couple of little 2000s or whatever. Taxes go eat it up. But psychologically, that'll get people back on your side. So he gotta do something for America because his whole thing was, I'm gonna put America first. And even people who didn't fuck with him was riding with that, thinking like, all right, this is cool. Like I'd rather somebody put America first than worry about men
porn wars and shit. Yeah,
in the bathroom and all the other shit the Democrats was talking about. People felt like was minuscule. Like, let's get the money together. We thought he the businessman. He go get the money together, and people seeing like, shit, I'm struggling out here still, and I'm white too. I'm white, and I'm struggling. Like, so like they've been struggling, a lot of them too. But they looked at him as like some type of savior, like he really gonna care about us. And Trump don't give a fuck about that, man. Crazy thing about Trump, he told his whole game plan years ago on that show, word for word, how he was gonna take this shit, and that's what he's doing. Said in the interview, like, we don't got no talent. He don't think Americans are smart. That's why they can kind of pull and do whatever he want, because he don't think they smart enough to really revolt against him. And it's true for the most part, because like Johnny said, we are a very comfortable country in a lot of ways. We got issues and imperfections, but for the most part, our populace is comfortable, too comfortable to really like try to take this man out of office. Like now, maybe the government shut down one thing. You shut down TikTok, Instagram, fucking Twitter and Facebook for 43 days, and these people will be in the streets. Like, you want to shut that down, and I guarantee they'll find a way to get out here in these streets. Like,
well, they be protesting if Meta shut down for 24 days.
You saw how they was doing with TikTok. They was
what else they gonna do? What else they gonna do except go outside?
It turned to 05 again.
Yeah, but I agree. I agree with A Black as far as like Trump is definitely a businessman, and I think he sold those people American dream. I think he's good at selling those people. He got to his real estate, capital. This man done had. I mean, if you look back at everything he's done, he done had. Man, he sold sold tuition to Trump University at one point. We can't act like this man ain't like a genius like salesperson. He gets it done, and I think this is just a classic example of us or people falling for what they call a snake oil salesman or something like that. People just fell for it. He sold a dream, but at the end of the day, it's only to make get for his profit and his gain, and he'll say he sold us out for his betterment. And I think we're clearly seeing that.
Gotcha. All right, so fellas, I guess there's a couple things that I do want to touch, but yeah, so there is the new radical, I guess we will call it like the white nationalist, white Christian nationalist part of the movement that is growing. There's the Charlie Kirk. This is also the Groypers as well. A lot of that far right extremist space. But before we get there, again, this is Unpacked, so we do tend to talk about a lot of the nuances in how it impacts us as Black people. So, taking the fact that right now the strongest voice in the Republican Party, the two strongest voices, one would have been Charlie Kirk, and then his arch nemesis was that guy that they call Nick Fuentes, the Groypers, who was right now starting to wage, I guess, a full war on MAGA. I think earlier he announced that MAGA's dead. I guess we'll see what happens. But what you will find out is that they say that even if you look at the Heritage Foundation, they had to do an all call because they found that, damn, like 50% of the millennials that was inside the office all identified as Groypers, where this grouping has infiltrated MAGA almost down to its roots. And again, when you look at the commentary, the conversation of a lot of MAGA, they tend to echo this. So I'll play this and then I'll ask y'all a question. So this is just Nick Fuentes getting this shit off. Play about a minute.
You're a token. You're a token. You are in conservative media as a Black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid. And that's why I don't, because I didn't have the privilege of being born Black. I was born white. So there's a limit on what I can say. There's a limit on what I can say without being penalized in the so-called free marketplace of ideas. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. And everybody's sick of it, especially in the conservative space, that Blacks have had it easy. You are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your ass would be gone. And everybody knows that. It's a good thing you're Black, because if you weren't, you would have been fired like Elijah Schaffer. Look at everything around you, because you did not compete to get that. You got it because people feel sorry. People don't want to be called racist. They feel sorry. They need a Black person to give them credibility.
That was Nick Fuentes, who's beefing.
All right. So nonetheless, that was him. I think that one was specified to Jason Whitlock, but again, he's right now in the war with Candace Owens, right now in the war with Brandon Tatum, and pretty much he's echoing these same sentiments that you hear from pretty much the most popular guys if not necessarily as direct and vulgar, but sometimes they might dress it up a little better, like say a Charlie Kirk. But there's this this sentiment that's reverberating across the board, and now we're seeing a lot of pushback across me. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of pushback against Black conservatives on the right. So I guess I'll ask y'all, with this influx of the white Christian nationals, the Groypers, is the Black conservatives no longer welcome inside the left? Not the left, inside the right.
I just want to say he picked the right nigga to target because nobody's going to defend Jason Whitlock.
Right. I mean,
like,
I
nobody's going to defend.
Sure, but he's like the same tirade he's did against pretty much every prominent Black conservative, and it's his take on Black conservatives in general that you can hear. Like he does this all the time. So if we just move it away from Jason Whitlock. And again, this is no different than the Black pilot thing that that your guy Charlie Kirk is saying. This is like you can kind of find every single strong conservative talking head, and they pretty much speak through this exact same concept.
Yeah, I never heard of this guy before until today. Like, it's my first time seeing
Oh, really?
him. Yeah,
He's a Mexican. I want to remind everybody that he's like he's half Mexican.
Okay, I don't know if he's half Mexican.
He checks white. He checks white on the.
He look white to me. But yeah, that's my first time hearing about him. Yeah, Jason Whitlock is like.
Let's not get on Whitlock. Whitlock is his own thing.
Yeah, we don't butter skin.
Yeah,
but, I mean, it's content. At the end of the day, everything's content, and like, how can I be niche? All right, I can attack typical Black folks or I can do the conservative ones that you would assume that I would align with, or that would align with me. You know, this could be my niche. So I don't know. I just see everything as like, all right, that's about to be his thing for his content, and I'm gonna go with everybody. Like, I don't.
A little bit, I guess. Like, so with Nick, I'm surprised you haven't heard of him. Like, he's probably the most. Like I said, him and Charlie Kirk have been had been arch nemesis, but both of them would have been like the top two guys, especially when you talk about the youth for like 35 and under, pretty much. With the Republican Party right now, and a lot of Charlie Kirk's fan bases went over there, and he's probably the most powerful person not named Donald Trump that's operating on the right. And this is where you see there's been big backlash, and now all the big talking heads are having conversations about making sure that they band together to completely get him out the paint. So I think last week or the week before that, like he did the interview with Tucker Carlson, because he's been banned on YouTube and most of like the major platforms because again, he's the white guy that he's against race mixing. He thinks Black people have low IQs. He does the whole phonetic science thing with the small skulls. I think like it's more than enough like clips of him and his exact like him being exactly racist. But yeah, saying all that to say, this is the same guy that outside of him being like anti-Israel and anti-Jew, he has a huge following, if not the biggest on the right. Steve said he's up there with Tucker. I think a lot of people will probably argue right now he's more influential than Tucker. But
for the younger folks.
Oh yeah, definitely for the younger.
Yeah, I never heard of him. So why him and Charlie not cool?
Because Charlie was supporting Israel.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, because I'm not that familiar with Nick as well. Is he this question goes for the Groypers as well. I'm not as familiar with them. Yeah. Is he, because I know Charlie Kirk was like, Christian based, and I know like they were supposed to be like,
he's a Christian nationalist.
Like a Christian extremist.
Yeah, they're pretty much
Christian. Okay. What
so
about the Groypers?
Like
are the Groypers all Christian or
the Christian extremists?
Yeah. So the Groypers are like all of them fall inside that lane of are they saying he's Catholic?
It's all same boat.
Yeah, they're all like by the Bible list. It's weird because like the youth movement with white kids right now on the right is being like a white religious theocrat, I guess you would say. And yeah, like that's what they are. That's what they base their entire message and everything off of.
It's so basic.
And they're able to like, you know, mix their racism in it.
And but this is the same one with the shooter was this too, right?
Was he a grouper? I don't know if he was a grouper or not.
You talking about the Charlie Kirk shooter?
Charlie Kirk shooter?
Because to me,
shooter rather.
Because
I think there had been some
like, but to me when it came out, I first thought the Groypers as something, you know, like not necessarily. I knew it was kind of extreme, but I thought they were more like on like the incel type of just like.
No,
he gets a group of those.
He like lady boys. This is different.
But to be fair though,
but
there is a weird overlap. So I think Steve might have talked about this a little bit. So like he's more like right extremist, but it overlaps with like just like the white conservatives as well. But with the like far right extremists, there is like that whole little like weird thing because they're incels too. And that's so like the Charlie Kirk shooter could have been a Groyper. I'm not sure. I stopped paying attention to any of it after like 2 or 3 weeks because it just went into conspiracy land and I didn't really care about it. But
it just seems like a crazy mix that Nick Fuentes and that guy would be like in the same.
Maybe, but I don't know if he is. But you got like if their politics is American first, and I mean I guess if you want to be racist, he's the guy that you're gonna probably gravitate towards. He's the one that's giving you the raw, uncut blue magic. Now he's gonna say the N-word on the screen. He's going. Let me see if I can find something.
Nick Fuentes, he be dropping the N-word.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can find some. This is his shtick. Well, he has a couple shticks, but this is one of them. Also, the he don't like Jew thing is like really big, but yeah, there you go. Michael G. He said he even followed him on some Renaissance ish. Here go Steve. There you go. The Gropers like femboys. That's what the internet is saying. But all right, before we because we went on like
they are heavy anti-alphabet. They like J. Edgar Hoover. You know they got all that rhetoric about anti-alphabet. But then when the lights go off and they go home,
because that's some of the allegations. But with him, if I'm not mistaken, as well. But all right, so like we went on a bit of a Nick Fuentes tangent, but saying all that to say, and I'll see if I can find some other ones that it won't be hard to find some other ones that don't deal with whatchamacallit. But yeah, do y'all think that right now the black conservatives are finding themselves a hard space to exist? Like I seen Brandon Tatum now have to push back against racism, and if you know who that is, these are there's no racism in America guys now.
So he's now saying that there's racism, that black dude.
Oh yeah, because Nick Fuentes was calling him hard R, and that he don't believe in race mixing. And he got a white wife, like a good black conservative.
Oh yeah, hey,
when you hit that soft spot,
I don't even be mad at it. Hey, look,
Nick Fuentes,
you want these mixed breed type niggas, man, and you want to stick your chest out and talk about that the world is no race. Hey, look, let the Groper show you just how racist shit can be, man. Like, let it be. So be it.
Right, but so do y'all think that that they're again black conservatives are still they don't have any home, or they still welcome?
I think there's actually like a good space for. I think like right now we're clearly in a space of political upheaval, to where like I think like the black conservatives. I don't agree with all of them, but I think there's like space for them to be welcome in like a different type of center, to where like I think there's gonna be a lot of like realignment when it comes. Well, clearly it's gonna be a lot of realignment because you got like the T's.
Oh my bad.
You got the Reuters, and they seem like they're this weird mix of different ideologies. So I think there's space to where they could, kind of solidify the center for a lot of people. I think that'd be very, important. If they far right, they could stay and create a new center.
Gotcha.
They cook.
No, we gotta get a third party, bro. Like we need a third party, and it's like the perfect time in America to do it.
This is what I don't. This is the thing I never quite understood with like black pro Trump. It's like y'all knew from the jump that these niggas were at minimum adjacent to like being cool with racism. Like if you say they weren't racist, like everybody who votes for Trump's not racist. Okay, that's cool, but at minimum they are okay with racism. Is basically what they're saying. It's like, so folks who willingly align themselves with such a party, in my opinion, I don't really have too much empathy there for folks who chose to align themselves to a group of people who openly talk down on their folk, like the Vivek Ramaswamy's, like, hey, you gonna get what's coming to you. The JD Vance, you see they trying to get his wife out the paint, get him hooked. Yeah. Like it's like, yeah, y'all align yourselves with these folks who clearly don't have no love for you, and they clearly also like they're just, at least at minimum, they're okay with it. It's like they'll turn a blind eye to it. So when that ends up turning against you, you got to deal with it. That's what you signed up for. So more power to them black folk, man.
Gotcha. All right, so yeah, I guess we've jumped a little bit into it, but yeah, again, the white Christian nationalists, the gropers, the extremists, right now they have become the loudest voice when it comes down to the right, and these are the people that have like taken the anti-establishment flag, if you will. So I guess it begs the question: did the alt-right finally take over, or is it finally taking over the Republican Party, the right?
I don't know if taking over is the right word.
Not yet, but are they gaining control?
I think they're gaining ground for sure. I think that's what we're seeing. I think they're, from whatever, but I think they're gaining ground. Definitely. Take over. I don't know if we're there yet, but I think you could see, how that could maybe be possible, where like in a lot of times it, they didn't have necessarily as clear of a lane as they have now. I can give them that for sure.
What they doing is really strategically hooking they're sinking their hooks into the youth, which will give them longevity in the party. So they're not even targeting like old traditional Republicans. They're actually making them the enemies that they're going up against. They're like, nah, we're here to take down even folks in the Republican Party, and saying that they're not, they're too soft. They're a little too liberal. They need to lean further to the right compared to where they are today. So I feel like by somehow having this influence on the next generation, that's the thing that makes it interesting, because as these folks grow older, that's where you start to see like, okay, maybe in 10 years, what does the politics actually look like in the party when this is what the teenagers are growing up seeing and normalizing? It's like, okay, how does that manifest itself in another 10 years when these folks are starting to run for office and cast their vote? So I think it is a sign that the alt-right is becoming more and more, far leaning to that extreme. But the mirror is polarizing, because then you see stuff like Mondani, or whatever you say his name, getting voted in New York, and seemingly a further push to the left. Like it's like that's starting to become more of a normal stance with the youth too. It's like you're just starting to see the youth, the younger generation, have these more polarizing far left, far right positions, more than say,
they're pushing more to the extremes.
Yeah. on both sides.
Yeah, I think each side has been galvanizing each other, and that's why you kind of getting these far extremes in the youth. It's like, okay, y'all gonna do that, we got to do this, and it's just kind of like a back and forth going on, which I think is a good thing. And I think the Republicans' focus is on the youth. I mean, every year somebody turn 18. You know, that's millions of new voters versus like trying to change these people's minds who set. Like every year I can get a whole new crop of voters. So in 4 years, you know, that's 4 new waves of new 18-year-olds that eligible to vote for me. And all I got to do is hit the right TikTok, say the right cool thing, drop the right stimulus check on them at the right time, and I got all those new votes. At the same time, those 4 years new voters coming in, 4 years old voters dying out. So it's like the youth is where it's at. I mean, and it's really, if you look at what's going on internationally, where a lot of countries, if you look at Kenya, half of their population under 25, like, you know, a lot of these countries are being about to be carried by their youth. So, I mean, America is not really there as far as numbers wise, but as far as influence, the youth can be a big deal, because if you look at the voter turnout, it's still relatively small. Like I think in New York, it was only like maybe 2 million voters or something. And how many they got people in New York?
No, I think that was a record. That was a record too.
Exactly, and that was a record.
Wait. So it was only 2. I thought he won by 1 million votes.
He got Mondani got just over 1 million votes, which gave him over 50% of the votes, but about a total of 2 million people voted for mayor for New York City.
Yeah, so like my exact numbers.
Oh, maybe I guess I didn't.
What I'm saying is,
I read that way wrong.
It's still a small amount of people that's voting. Like even in the Charlotte election and our mayor, I think it might have been like 300,000 type votes in a city of 1 million people. So the majority of people are not even really voting yet. So it's like, to get new voters, you really got to stick it to the youth and resonate with them.
Well, and then you got to get them galvanized and
make it become a trend. Because if it's a trend, the thing to do, then they'll do it. We'll go out and vote. We're gonna choose the Muslim guy. We're gonna choose the black woman. We're gonna choose the white lady. You know, that you have to make it trend too at the same time, because they're very programmed to kind of go with the wave of the trend. But the youth is where it's at. Like people done gave up on the old people. They're not changing their minds. Like, you're gonna go blue, you're gonna go red for the most part, no matter what the extreme is. And it's like the youth is still pliable. They might go red this time, next time they might go blue. You don't know. You gotta work them a lot more these days.
They're smart. They got a lot more information than we had too.
And you see the people that's winning, they doing the youthful things, they doing podcasts, they hitting the right markets, they on social media, they meeting the youth where they at, you know, and that's why a lot of them are winning, are coming out up top.
Gotcha. I guess let me ask y'all this before we move off of this, and we'll bring in our first caller in, our brother Steve. Is the GOP becoming a theocracy? Kind of like talked around it a little bit. I think somebody spoke about them going into Nigeria now. They're the policemen for Christians across the world, even the black ones. Like what is y'all thought? Like the biggest voices in the party are now Christian nationalists. Jesus is King is a really big voice, but then they also have the most prominent voices when it comes down to being Jewish. They're all on the right as well. What is y'all thoughts? Is the GOP becoming a theocracy?
So like, let me make sure I got the right word. When you say theocracy, I make sure I know exactly what you're saying. Because like my thing is,
like they're basing their principles off of being off pretty much like religion in the Bible. So, for example, I forget what the guy is, but when he was asked if and it's one of the guys, I forget, damn, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Steve, you might know his name. But he was sitting down and he had a conversation with Tucker Carlson, and Tucker asked him, "Why are you giving aid to Israel?" And he said, "Well,
Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz.
There goes Ted Cruz. Yeah, he said, well, because in the Bible it says that you got to be good to Israel." And when pushed, that was his only answer, was that, well, I do what the Bible tell me to do, and the Bible says it's good, so I'm like basing your politics off of the Bible.
I think generally that's always, at least in my experience, been a foundation of what it means to be conservative or Republican, is to put the Bible first, as it relates to like your voting, policy making, positions on things like marriage, gay marriage, abortion. Typically, the reason why folks were voting against those things were because of religious reasons, typically. So I do think it's been an underpinning sort of just like theme to that party, but now we're starting to see that's, similar to how they use religion to justify slavery. I think now you're starting to see like rhetoric from this side where they're using religion to justify things that don't really need to be justified in the name of religious context.
And I guess just asking you to, as you continue on, would you say that in the past it was specified to a religion, or was it more traditional values that could be encompassed in multiple religions? So like you see a lot of Indians or Chinese or Muslims come, and they'll come and be conservative also, because of the values are based more so on traditionalism. But now I forget who just spoke about it. JD Vance, his wife, is Indian, and they're like, you know what? We ain't even fucking with her because she's Indian.
Right.
Yeah. And again, I forget Vivek Ramaswamy. He was on the interview, and this lady, she said that she liked his politics, but you're Muslim and you're Indian. Or Hindu, that's what he is. Hindu, right. And you're Indian. And so I couldn't vote for you. Now this is becoming like outwardly, if you ain't Christian, we ain't really fucking with you. Same thing with the Muslim thing with Mob Donnie. Like the biggest thing that was being ran is that this communist Muslim who was a part of the guys that did jihad on the 9/11 thing or the World Trade Centers, or whatever the shit is. Like that was a narrative that was being ran.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think they're using quote unquote Christian religion to be bigots. You know what I'm saying? To be to have these views in the name, like these I don't want to say hateful views, but like they're using Christianity to justify being discriminatory is the best way I could frame it. And you could kind of see, post 9/11, you could see a lot of the anti-Muslim rhetoric, pro-Christian rhetoric, one nation under God, God bless America. All that stuff is said in the name of white Jesus. That's really what all that is said under. So there is this fabric to quote unquote patriotism that's really rooted in the fact that Jesus favors America, and this is God's, God bless America over everything else. So it's been a part of the fabric
a little bit,
of that party.
But you could also look at like there had been previously treaties in America that also was intentional about separating it from just being a Christian country and ingratiate it into like Muslims. I forget, like this is like 1800s at that, where like there was even, I think that we had like some founding fathers that was kind of like on some offshoot shit too, that wasn't actually Christians. It was
they were atheists, for sure.
Yeah, to where
it was way more diverse. But that was that was part of the thing too. Like they came over.
I think sometimes because the word God be in there, sometimes we get lost in that. Like there's been a lot of intentionality across the years that has pushed it. Even when you go back to the 1800s and the 1700s, Johnny.
I think we are missing something too, but I think it's definitely like a Christian thing, and I don't know if it's necessarily a hate thing, but I think what a basis of a lot of this is around, and I got a question after, is because we've heard it pressed a lot of time, is the Great Replacement theory, and I think a lot of this is based on them losing power, based on, I think the numbers have been dwindling. I think they're under 60% right now, and I think a lot of this goes to necessarily that. But my question would be, is that still a winning strategy with the way their numbers are going down, with a lot of the I think they're, their numbers are dropping where they're dying faster than they're being born, and do you think like what they're doing would be enough to keep their numbers stable, or do you think there's something that's just going to eventually always kind of go towards the black and brown people?
Who you asking?
Everybody. I think. Do you think the Great Replacement theory is something that's like actually possible?
Well, I mean, I think that the Great Replacement theory is it yeah, of course it's possible. I think that yes, I agree that this is for sure a offshoot and of like a response to it, where the idea is focusing on making European babies, white European Christian babies at that, and. But like so, but I guess you're also asking, do I think that replacement? So yes, I guess you're saying, is it worth it? So if you have an understanding,
can I clean up the question? Can I clean it up a little bit?
Okay.
Do you think the policies that that some of the people on the extreme right are pushing would help them negate what was happening with the Great Replacement theory?
Yeah, it'll definitely slow it down. And I mean, if with the understanding of the Great Replacement theory, is not saying that they're just going to be like 10% of the country or 20%. It just means they're going to be the biggest minority.
Yeah, but they're right at 56%, I think. Right.
Yeah, but that's when you look at all the minorities combined against their 50%. And so like that's the thing that you have to also keep in context, is that they're still 50%. If you're saying the number is 50%. Or close, a little over 50%. They're 50% of the country. The rest of the minorities make up
20,
that
30. Yeah.
So, like, the first little part of the Great Replacement theory is just when they don't make up the majority when you add all the minorities together.
And that's getting close. That's
getting close.
That's getting very.
But that's why they also, they bring in. And who says that they ain't gonna make the light skinned Hispanics white soon? Who says they ain't gonna find another group to make white?
Recruiting, transfer portal.
Isn't that the history of like white in America? Ain't that how they help build their numbers up? At a point in time, there was a lot of groups that wasn't considered white.
I guess you're right. I guess.
The Italians, the Irish. The Polish.
Yeah, no,
none of them was considered. None of them was considered white.
You said the Italians and the Irish, boy. What that boy Nick Fuentes wouldn't have been white couple decades ago.
Right now.
Right. Hey, Black, and then we'll throw to Steve. Talk to her.
Yeah. So when you say Great Replacement theory, is it us replacing them, or we?
I think it's just them dropping below a certain number.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will take some time for sure. I think it's being a little overhyped than what it is. I mean, if you compare it to other countries and continent, then yeah, they behind. But I mean, if you look around, all I see is crackers having babies and pushing strollers, and so they still multiplying out here for sure. If you was Charlotte, man, they everywhere. I'm just like, damn, white people is everywhere, man.
Well, it just depends on where you at, hey Black. I be in a lot of sections where I be avoiding them. I'm over on the east side now, so I think they called the national troop over here for
my section was that, but they done gentrified it. I mean, when I first moved over here, when I first moved over here, it was all of us, and that was maybe like 12 years ago. And now it's like just a totally different makeup. So it's like, shit, you can try to run from them. They coming. You know, they go find you and they're gonna flip it and HGTV that shit and raise that rent and get your black ass up out of there.
You see that little pamphlet on the thing, that little new house come up.
Oh no, listen. I knew it. I knew it was real when a matter of fact, my people say this all the time that like we knew that the neighborhood was all right when you have Caucasian ladies running down the street, just jogging down the street.
Yeah, it's peaceful. It's a peaceful country.
Again, if you know my people stay at Double Oaks Road, like that ain't.
If she walked back with a
they ain't where they was at 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. But again, I'm not the most anti gentrification person, so I guess
I just don't see like in real time their birth deficit or birth rate decline being effective. Like I feel like it also could be a propaganda tool.
Damn, they had to silence that nigga.
All right. With this, I think that his phone might be loading or buffering. Something's happening. But while A Black leaves and comes back, I'm sure he's gonna do. Steve, welcome to the show, brother.
Yo, what's up? What's up? I ain't got too much. I ain't got too long. I'm about to hop on a flight.
Okay. Are you trusting the airlines now that they didn't open the government again?
And it wasn't nobody in the line. I just got in line. You know, my flight leaving
San Diego
9:45,
airport
so
tight as hell.
There wasn't nobody here. But I mean, I think y'all already kind of know. I mean, if you remove all the the racist stuff from Fuentes, his analysis of like what's going on is like pretty spot on. Like there's an elite, which we call the moderates, the status quo, and whoever else, who have basically been running the country for the past 50 years.
Yes.
And I kind of find it strange that we keep saying the extremes are taking over, but the conditions that has led to everybody's lives getting worse, in which they want to vote for Mamdani or they want to go be a Groyper, is that the so-called moderates have been dictating policy for 50 years. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else has had a chance to run it. Only the moderates, only the centrists. And so how can we keep calling the people who haven't had power extremists and radicals and being so scared of their politics when the people who we consider to be moderates are the people who have created the conditions? And when he talk about they get a lot of their analysis wrong on the race stuff. Like the great replacement theory is really a theory about replacing higher labor workers with cheaper labor workers, regardless of race. And because of the way the economy is racialized in America, white workers are higher paid workers. So they are going to be the first to get displaced because they want to replace that higher paid worker with a cheaper worker that's more exploitable, whether that's through H-1B visa process or whether that's through illegal immigration over the border. Like, that is the game. Like, and I don't know how else to explain it to people at this point, but
I got you. But so making sure that we're on the same page. You're saying that that's what the principles of the theory is supposed to be about.
No,
inside inside their understanding, you think that
their understanding of it is racialized.
Right. All right. Just making sure. There we go.
My understanding, the actual use of it is economic warfare. It's a way in which you can use a surplus army of labor that's outside of these borders in order to coerce and have the American worker under threat to do whatever the hell y'all want them to do, because they can always threaten to bring in more people, or they can threaten to ship their jobs overseas. Like, that's kind of the game. And it's kind of, you gonna end up with Mamdani and Fuentes. That's the political reality of the trajectory that America is on. And I do think when y'all talk about the Christian stuff is rising because the market, the so-called free market for the past, especially the past 10 years, have sold us degeneracy. We can gamble, we can do OnlyFans, we can get Blue Chew. So I do think it's a resurgence of people going to these religious values because we've played into this. Okay, let's let the free market do its thing. And what has the free market done? It sold us the most crass bull crap for the past 50 years, and now we got a culture of people who sick, defected, addicted to porn, got gambling addiction, and doing Ozempic in order to cope with their body dysmorphia that they have. So it's just like I'm not surprised that Mamdani and Fuentes and all these people is rising to the top. And it's gonna be a real contradictions in 2028 because Democrats don't have the same problem in their primary. And whoever choose the populist in 2028 election, whichever party choose the populist as their nominee, that's the person who gonna win the 2028 election. If you choose the technocrat, you're losing. If you choose the Israel dude, you're losing.
Hey, but
and that's
Steve,
that's kind of that's what's
I
gonna
also
happen.
think probably if you choose it like the Nick Fuentes, you probably lose as well. I think that the right's
They're not gonna
probably
go.
gonna have to have.
They're not gonna go as far as Nick Fuentes, but as far as his economic understanding of the politics.
Oh no, I think that I'm with you. I agree that he's anti-elite, so and he's anti-globalist. So that's
you can start making the case that now that the Groypers are anti-capitalist, they will tell you that because I'll give you a prime example of this. Ben Shapiro made an argument the other day that if your hometown or wherever you was trying to live was expensive,
I think
you should just move somewhere else. That's all you should do. That's all we are in America is economic mercenaries, and that your community don't matter, your family don't matter, none of that matter. You should just do whatever you got to do to pursue the most economic prosperity that you can in the country, and that's an anti-societal view. That the only way we could be economically viable and whole in this country is for masses of people to, and actually it's a globalist opens borders ideology to even think like that, which is crazy for a conservative.
Hey Steve, can I ask you something though?
I can't hear you, Johnny.
I said, can I ask you something? I want to hop in because I agree with what you're saying.
Hold on right quick.
Yeah, I think that's you, Steve. We can hear Johnny.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you, Q.
Yeah,
can y'all
but we can hear Johnny.
I can hear Johnny. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Whatever it is, when someone goes off or cuts their camera off, it disconnects from Steve. It happened last week.
Huh.
Yeah, so when you go out, Johnny, it's gonna.
Oh, he can't hear me. I'm gonna go out. He can't hear me when I. Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you disconnect. Yeah.
Go ahead and ask the question.
My question is, and it could be to everybody as far as like, when like the extremes, right? Like they're anti-establishment now. They're against the systems, but like once they get power, like same thing with Trump. What's going to keep them from then turning into the the establishment? Like once they get access to power and they get to do things, like do we trust like a Nick Fuentes not to or some of these extremists to not go to not turn into the establishment?
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here.
And that's my question is like we see how it happens and how America works, and like some of these people that might be anti-establishment now, but when they get the power, once they get it centralized, what's going to keep them from then doing the same thing Trump did, the same thing anybody else done once they get in that power and sell the American people out? And
I think it's at some point, because at some point, if the people who claim so Trump is already happening in real time, where the people who believe in the so-called MAGA ideology, they keep seeing them just double down on more globalist, elite, technocrat policies every week. I think if the people we say are like the outsiders who take over power and the same thing happen, I think those contradictions would be so heightened in America that you actually would then see revolutionary capacity of the American. Because then there ain't no hope at that point. So then at that point, like when we say burn it all down, I think most people be speaking metaphorically. But I think if that happens, people would actually burn it all down, literally.
But Steve, do you trust a person like Nick Fuentes not to do that though?
I think I
or
find
any of them on the extremes.
I find him more trustworthy than the current conservatives.
Yeah, no.
I find
I ain't rolling with the Nick Fuentes.
I find him.
That's a tough
one. Because I don't think.
Find him more.
So you find him more trustworthy for the betterment of Black people than
no.
Because like you have to take his all of his politics with his politics.
But
like I understand that you like his
so this
his
is the other thing
politics, but
about
he has
Nick
really strict.
This is the other thing about Nick Fuentes. I think if it comes down to it, and you got somebody like my politics, and you got somebody like Fuentes politics, and those are that's the two ideas that's battling in the what they call it, the free market of ideas. I think that ideology is much easier to beat. I don't think a liberal could beat Nick Fuentes, but somebody with my ideology could.
I think a liberal, as long as I think AOC can do all right.
But AOC not a liberal. Like they call her an extremist. Like
I think that inside, like if we're talking America, I think that Gavin Newsom will probably
if
be.
it was a Gavin Newsom type versus whoever, it couldn't be Fuentes himself, but somebody who represent that ideology.
But
that
again,
person
like
will
so when you say that ideology, like I'm making sure like we're loading.
You're not gonna win a national election being super anti, like gay, anti-race, like you're not gonna win.
N-word over and over online, being completely like believing that Black people have lower IQs.
I'm telling you,
he gonna sell everybody out if he get there, bro.
And being anti-immigrants in general, like
but hear me out, because let me finish the case. The reason why I prefer a Fuentes is because for this precise thing that you saying, I think he's an easier opponent if you have my politics. If your politics ain't mine, and you up here talking about status quo and the global jewelry, you gonna say the global jewelry, you gonna lose the Fuentes. You just are.
I think that Nick Fuentes will have a hard. I think he can be very influential inside the party. I don't think Nick Fuentes will have I don't think that he'll be able to galvanize a group. I think that the left would have to really, really overly fumble the ball just because majority of people.
I feel like people said the same thing. I feel like people said the same thing about Clinton and Trump.
Clinton and Trump's nowhere near as extreme as
I would say people viewed him as that extreme in 2016.
I don't think so. There was never a tape. No, not even 2020. I don't think there's ever been a tape of Nick Fuentes, Trump saying having sex with a Black woman is like having sex with a dog. He's both
are you using Nick?
Like these aren't like things.
I didn't know he said that.
These aren't things that
he said. What about Black women?
Having sex with a dog and a Black woman are equally as degenerate. I think that's his exact quote.
Stop.
Again, he does the phonetic sign. He says that again, Black people have lower IQs naturally, and if it wasn't for the European race, then again we'll still be without language in Africa. These are his actual talking
points. Are you using
quotes.
Nick Fuentes as just his ideas, not literally saying he's?
I'm not saying literally him. I'm just saying somebody who because I'm gonna give you a prime example of somebody who in this lane who just popped up on the scene. It's Nikki Haley's son. Go look up. Well, y'all gonna have to do the research afterwards. But go research.
Nikki Haley from South Carolina.
Nikki Haley from South Carolina. Go look up her.
The white Indian Nikki.
Yeah, but when you say they have similar politics, are you saying they're anti-establishment or that he has the same race politics too?
His framing of the race politics is better. That I feel like it's a more acceptable framing of the race politics that could win in America.
With his Indian mama.
Yes, yeah.
So what's his framing of the race politics? Because like that's the biggest draw away from
because he always brings instead of getting into the deficiency of the people he's talking about, he keeps it strictly like it could be some animosity about who they are, but it's strictly about the economic disenfranchisement by the presence of the people being here. Like that is the.
But that's why like he's not nothing like Nick Fuentes then.
I mean, he's you say that.
I guess because then like you can bring so many other Republicans in that can fit inside an anti-establishment.
They've refined it better than
like
most
Nick
of the
Fuentes,
Republicans.
and if you're like identifying inside the Groyper lane, in my opinion, it's way more of the extremist Christian nationalists and race politics, because
I think
that's what they're based off. Their whole thing is Christ is king, right?
I think this is the misunderstanding of like his true agenda. He personally couldn't be the figurehead, right? But this is a guy who has been telling his folks to infiltrate every elite level of college institutions, young Republicans, TPUSA. They've cultivated a way in which, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be 30 or 40% of the staffers in the U.S. Congress right now. So
and I get it, but Steve, also a part of that isn't his ideology and the ideology of all his people that America has to be a white ran country and white people have to be the predominant demographic. It has to be a white Christian at that.
And I agree. And I think that's an easier person if it's one-on-one. I think that's an easier ideology to combat. But we need both of the main ideologies to be populist. I don't care if he racist, but the two main ideologies that's the driving force of American politics need to be these anti-elite, anti-populist. And if it's coming from him and it's somebody like him, that gotta be the other side, because that side is easier to beat.
But Steve, the thing about, like, especially with what we dealing with now, they still got the super majority, and if they go populist on some racist shit, like what power do we then have?
I think a lot of normal people, normies would then side with the other side.
But we hope. But if they choose to go that way, like there's nothing that we could really, because they have the majority still, and they will, outvote us if it's just populist.
Yeah, I think that if you run a campaign that's if you run a campaign that's anti everybody but white,
they're not
white,
the majority in that
white Christian nationalists, I don't think that's a majority inside the country. I think there is enough immigrants and blacks and then white people that are already liberal. I don't know. To me, yeah, like I said, if they would, I would love for them to run Nick Fuentes, because I think that
they can't run.
They have to scrub him down with it's good soap.
It's too late for him. They would have to run one of these covert. When y'all get a chance, go look up Nikki Haley's son, Nayland Haley. He'll look Groyper when you see him, and go watch how he talking.
Listen, if they hide it, I think that yes. Like Charlie Kirk was like, he was being groomed to be the next guy. They got a little different politics, a little bit.
But that's the issue when it came down to
Charlie Kirk was going to be the guy for sure.
When it came down to
what's that other white dude that tries to do the debates right now? With the hair, that something report. I forgot. Damn it, I can't remember. The Rubin report, not Dave. It's not even Dave Rubin. It's the other good old boy, white boy. That he does the campus debates. I'll look him up.
I think you talking about the new little skinny dude.
He's a little bit older.
He's old.
You talking about the change my mind guy?
Yeah. What's his name?
Steven Crowder. Steven
Crowder. Yeah.
But this the thing about them, dude. This why Kirk fell out with them, because Kirk was, when it came time on their question. Yeah, and y'all know what the question is.
Are you talking about like towards the end? Yeah.
Kirk was riding the fence. He was riding the fence. So
they had that meeting with him. I'm sure you up on like the.
Oh yeah, I'm deep in it. Like no problem.
Yeah, they had that meeting with him.
Yeah, boy.
My bad. I ain't mean for that to come off like that. But if he, obviously it's too far gone because of obviously the race stuff. But if people could get away from the race stuff, that's the type of politics we should have in America. This across the board.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the thing is that Nick is stained so much with the race shit. Like, if you removed his need to have white people as the predominant power and him put everything on the back of white people did it first and they're the reason why the world is civilized, and you just went with him being anti-establishment, you can run I mean, that's what Trump went on, in essence. It was just a populist right agenda that was anti-democrat. But we've been having a nice back and forth for a long enough time. I guess what I would say is let's bring in two more of the regulars. We got Old Man. We have Unc. Old Man, talk to us.
I just hopped in, so what's the question?
Well, we've been kind of around the horn with it, but I'll just throw you the main prompts. Are we watching the right fracture right now? We see if you go from the Marjorie Taylor Greene and her calling out Trump, you have Ben Shapiro calling out Trump, you have Nick Fuentes calling out Trump, you got Candace Owens, you got Brandon like everybody on the right that is anybody is currently calling out Trump, and they're all calling him out on different things. Some maybe it's the Epstein file thing. Some it's his new H-1B1 visa thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's the healthcare Medicaid thing where her constituents are putting the pressure on her. Right now, he's kind of getting pushed across the board, but then you're also seeing a lot of the Republican civil war also happen, where you're seeing old MAGA and new MAGA starting to fight each other. And that's been a really big conversation over the past 2 weeks. So yeah, we're just asking, has the right finally fractured? Are we watching the MAGA bubble burst?
The right, left, everybody has always been fractured. The reason why it's coming to us like it's in our face right now, because there's no more Donald Trump. This is the last of Donald Trump. I mean, before Donald Trump was like the security blanket for everybody. There's a lot of people that never agreed with him on the right side. But I mean, this whole thing is just about identity. Everybody's trying to find their identity and how they want to go about moving forward politically. So everybody's on contrasting sides. That's how I see it. And it's not about fracture. It's just about finding your way and finding your way to the numbers. And I think people like Fuentes is just an extreme version to see how far they can take it to go that white way. And I say white, not right.
We got you, old man. We got you. All right. All right, talk to us.
Yeah, I see it like, y'all was speaking about what's his name, Fuentes, or however you pronounce his name. He's a guy that for people to listen to him, you have to be half crazy, even though he's correct on, some of the things he says with the politics. But for you to listen to a guy that has an identity crisis as he does, you have a Hispanic man that's claiming to be white, that goes against everybody and is a racist even to his own people. You have to be someone that's insane to sit and follow someone like that, because that's the problem. It's a mental problem. He has hatred, self-hatred, but yet he wants to say that he loves something else and against everything. No matter how right you are with your politics, if you have self-hate, you can't tell me anything because you don't even love your own stuff. Mm-hmm. But that's how I feel about that. But when it comes down to Trump, and y'all was speaking earlier about, the things with the government and how the Democrats, I think the Democrats just made a fool out of themselves with this shutdown. And they showed the weakness of their party by caving into this right here. It was a waste of time. It made no sense for them to do it. And you had all these people that weren't getting paid. You had everything from traffic controllers to everyone else. And look at the situation that they put people through to get nothing. It made no sense, and it was unfair to the American people. And that's and it's gonna hurt them. It's gonna hurt them in the long run. And they will see that, because even if you Republican or Democrat or whatever, they didn't get anything out of it. All they got out of it was people not being able to have money in their pockets. And then you come down to this, everything about, the SNAP benefits and all this stuff. You can't starve people that you made this problem. The government made this problem with these people. They gave these people these benefits and things like this without educating them to give something else. You can't just snatch stuff like that away from people, because it's going to be rebellion, and it's going to be things that's going to cause nothing but eruption, and it will be violent. Sooner or later, it will come out to being violent. And that's just my opinion on it. Oh, gee, congratulations, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, sir. All right. We got an echo coming off, Young. Let me mute you real quick. All right. Chuck, welcome to the show. What's going on, brother? Yeah, talk to us. Has the right finally fractured? Is Nick Fuentes hijacking MAGA? Are we watching the MAGA bubble burst? What's your thoughts? Talk to us.
First and foremost, salute to G. Congratulations, my brother.
Appreciate it.
That's fantastic news. Trump is a populist. What that means in practice is that his this migrant crisis has given him power and has broadened the base to include people who, from never Trumpers to MAGA, America First people, to people like Tiki Torch white people, to people in the far right. I think we're seeing a political realignment, and the Overton window is shifting to the right. And I think this Fuentes character, he represents more of a far right ideology. You have to understand that this conservative voting bloc is a coalition of people who don't always agree. Not everybody agrees with Trump on immigration, on foreign policy, on domestic policy. But I think something is happening in the party that their extremists are coming to the foreground, which is kind of interesting. I think we're seeing something similar happen to the left. This is the reason why they lost the last election, is because these culture war issues are really, making the Republicans more powerful, but weakening the Democrats, as I read it. So I wonder, is people like Nick Fuentes going to lead to a fracturing or a loss of support? Like, will this coalition fall apart, or will he have to?
Wouldn't you say that's kind of what's happening with his beef with MAGA right now?
Right.
And like most of the biggest talking heads of MAGA, he is in the right. He's beefing with. If you're aligned even like closely with Israel, like it's big smoke. Or kind of if you're just a black contributor.
Right.
That's funny.
But that's 100% right. I think there is some steam. Like I've heard people say good things about what Nick Fuentes says, but I don't see, like, he's a good speaker, but I think he's going to alienate a lot of people on the conservative side. So the people who are conservative, who vote for Republicans, not everybody agrees with Nick Fuentes. His views are not the mainstream view. This is a fringe view. So I just wonder what's going to happen, and will there be pushback? Will he be disavowed? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll land the point.
Got you. Quincy, welcome to the show. What's going on, my brother? Floor is yours.
Hey, y'all can hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we get you.
Yeah. G, congrats, man. Congrats. It's a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing. So the question of is the right fracturing? Earlier you ran down like Nick Fuentes, Tatum, and a handful of other I guess right-wing pundits or whatever, disciples who kind of turning on Trump. For me, I guess the way I view it is this is how it's supposed to be when a politician say they're going to do something, you vote for them, and they don't do it, you're supposed to call them out, right? And it seems like that's a foreign concept because, I got to say it, man, on the Democratic side, I mean, hey, think of the equivalent of the Fuentes or the Tatums on the Democrat side, like
who'd you say that is?
Like Bakari Sellers, what's your boy Roland Martin, Plies, what's your boy
DL Hughley?
Yeah,
right. You gonna do it, DL in
right.
there?
Now when the Democrats fell, right? Now when the Democrats,
no, you can't say that. They're more on the right.
Who?
Johnny trying to get everything stirred up. Yeah.
But
ignore him.
But see, the thing is, when the Democrats fail us time and time again, how many times do we see the guys on the left break rank and call them out the way that we see these guys on the right breaking rank and calling out Trump? You know what I'm saying? We barely ever see it. It took a long time for them to even come out and say Biden was too old to run. They was holding that line for a long time.
Yeah, they waited until it was too late.
But Quincy, but I will be to be fair though, in my opinion, I think that right now is a shocking thing because of they're finally coming out after all of the different things. Like this isn't like a norm that they're consistent with calling Trump out. Like he also had these same exact people defend him with whether it's like him going to court, him doing like the whole January 6th thing, him, like every single thing that he's did over the past 8 years right now has got to the boiling point to where they're finally critiquing him. And prior to critiquing him over the past 4 months would be kind of like death to you in MAGA. And he was just swing the sword and, you know, cut you and make sure that you were primaried and you wouldn't win. Like that has been what has happened over like the past 8 years. So just to be fair, this isn't like a thing that has happened constantly with the right, in my opinion.
I agree.
And I agree like the left doesn't do it well either.
Yeah, I agree. Especially that first term, they was riding with Trump hard, and especially during Biden's term, a lot of them still riding the MAGA wave real hard.
That wall.
Yeah, yes, but like I said, what is it? November? What do you got sworn in about 10 months ago, and they already calling them out because hey, shit was kind of. I'm sorry, are you going corporate? It was kind of tough. It was.
Hey, listen, that's gonna be our new tagline. We going.
It was kind of tough. It was tough, that 2020 to 2024, and Trump sold that dream, and a lot of people jumped ship and came over, and now Trump just doing what Trump do, and I'm just saying I just like politicians that we can call out, that we can actually hold accountable, and we don't get pushback from everybody, because better believe, man, you already know if we try to say anything about Joe Biden, Roland Martin was jumping in, running interference. You know what I mean? All of them was jumping in, running interference. And I mean, even y'all said earlier the interview he did with the lady from Fox about the H-1B visas, she was pressing them. You know what I mean? So I'm just my biggest point is I just like it that he's getting pressed. I don't view it as MAGA's falling apart. I view it as, hey, hey, Democrats, and this is what's supposed to happen. He said he was going to do something. He didn't do it.
Hold him accountable.
They on his ass.
Democrats won't do that right now.
I know. They're not yet, right. And the other thing too is, and I gotta say this. One of the main reasons I didn't want Kamala to win is, do y'all know how much we could not criticize her at all? You couldn't. We wouldn't have been able to say nothing about Kamala at all, because the whole Black Woman Brigade, Black people, the whole coalition.
Thanksgiving would have been miserable.
Dude.
Hey, I made it through the COVID Thanksgivings. I made it through the Commons.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
it's okay. Sometimes your sister can be a little mad at you. So.
Yeah, but dude, you remember how you could barely criticize Obama. Y'all remember them days when you could barely criticize Obama back then. And Black people was on you. Dude, it would have been just 10 times worse with Kamala. And to me, I'm like, man, I don't want to have politicians that we can't criticize, because if that ain't a dictatorship, then what is? You know what I mean? Everybody talking about dictatorships, but and it's not so much coming from Kamala, it's coming from her cronies who's sitting there saying, shut up. Remember everybody talking about Israel back during the damn campaign trail when they was complaining about, what was that time they was cheering or ranting or something at a Kamala rally, and she said something like, I'm speaking now. If you want Trump, keep complaining. I'm speaking, and everybody cheered on and all that stuff. And that was about Israel and Palestine. So, but now because it's Trump, we can actually openly criticize it. Now we can say something. So I'm just I'm not a Trump advocate like that, but I am an advocate of, I want to be able to openly criticize our politicians who run the country without people running interference, treating it like it's an NFL team that they ride and die for. You know what I mean?
I think what the Republican Party is doing right now is natural. And actually, historically, this is probably what was happening during the early years of this country. Everybody was disagreeing.
It actually was.
Yeah, but at some point, man, it turned into like a cheerleading, turning these folks into deities. Like I said, you turn into deities. Like y'all remember though? Maybe it was Obama. I don't know, but at some point it turned into like they like we turned into stands and the it was like the Rihanna got the Navy, what you call it, got the barbs. I'm not sure what they call it for Barack.
I guess a little bit. So y'all, what we all old heads in here. Johnny, ain't no more big bros in the room. We all unks.
What was that? November? You get to November, you can wait till the new year. Come on. You got a month left. Come on.
Let me at least celebrate.
Okay, my bad. You could be big bro for one last year.
Last Thanksgiving.
Damn it, you made me forget what I was about to say. All right. So yeah, I'm about to say, so we can't, like, high school was Bush for me. I guess that was kind of like middle school through high school, and then
Bush
college was Obama.
Oh, second Bush.
Yeah, second Bush. So like pretty much all like Obama, I agree. During that time, especially first term, towards the end of the second term, like you would hear some murmurs, like niggas would start critiquing a little bit. You would have like the older guys. They might be like, don't speak out on the black man, XYZ. But I know within my like class and group of people, there was already murmurs. But then I think Trump, it was open season to critique because it was Trump. But I also think that Biden got a lot of critique, in my opinion. I don't think
Clinton got
but I was a kid, like, so I can't really talk about fluently what the feel for Clinton was. I know obviously you had the impeachment, you had the Monica Lewinsky, and then you got the crime bill, right? But I wasn't conscious during that time, so I'd be kind of like just speaking. I'll lean on my old heads. I'm gonna throw to you up in a second, but I will say that I do think that Biden, like since Trump's gotten office, the presidency has been heavily critiqued. Biden has been critiqued a lot by the left and the right, in my opinion.
Biden was highly protected, man. Because as much as SNL clown presidents, how many times they clown Biden?
I think they clowned him a lot.
They got toward the end, they was on his ass like once. So they. I'll say that they did protect him for like the bulk of his presidency, but once the cat was out the bag, people were piling on Biden like crazy.
Right. Somebody put out the bird call and said, "Hey, y'all can do it now." But before that,
that's true. That is true. That they really did. Pelosi and them, they really tried to protect them.
But I feel like to me, even if you look at like the biggest, but I say even if you look at like the biggest black broadcast that happens right now, the Breakfast Club, from at least like maybe the middle, if not the beginning of his presidency, there was heavy critique levied at him, like consistently. True. I think that if you go into like any of like the black spheres that wasn't pandered Democrat spaces, Biden was consistently critiqued from what I was where I was at, and even like just the discourse that I was seeing.
I'll give you this though. Biden was critiqued more on his like. He had the benefit of the doubt as far as like his character, but he was criticized highly on his capability and his ability. Like when he fell off that bike, he tripped going up the stairs.
Or his COVID policies, or like matter of fact, it was mad people left and right that didn't fuck with anything dealing with him with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That was
the vaccinations. That like they was on his ass.
Q, we going corporate. We going corporate. Oh, my bad. N word. You done said the F word.
My bad.
Corporate now.
Appreciate you.
My bad. Thank you, Thank you.
I can see to that. I can see some of that, but it did seem like anytime like D.L. Hughley, Roland Martin, the Bakari Sellers of the world, they was
they call them shields right there.
Hey, well, he had a lot of you know how I put it. I put it in the black community. Anytime black folks try to step up and say, "Hey, man, something ain't right about this," it seemed like they had a group text that said they ran out and ran interference.
And that's our Uncle Joe.
Yeah. Now listen, you get Plies talking like a woman on online. That's all it takes. Defending black people talking like a woman.
Yeah, so that I guess that's where it comes from, man. And like I said, the Trump and Biden, or Trump and any Democrat, could do the same exact thing that everybody disagree with. But if it's a Democrat, folks could kind of keep quiet on it. And if you do pipe up, people running interference. With Trump, it's open season on Trump. You can say whatever you want to say about Trump, which I actually think is a good thing. Now he don't really care, because he gone and he got money already. But whoever the next one is, let it be Democrat or Republican, it need to be somebody that we can actually criticize. And I hate to say it, but typically that's white men. We could openly criticize white men. If it's any minority, and you better believe if it's a woman, oh boy, it's gonna be hell trying to leverage any criticism out there. And we just got to sit in and shut up and be quiet, or it's gonna be smoking in the city.
I think we passed that point though.
But hold on,
old man.
I think
for Democratic Party.
It's too much
I think
equality,
people struggle.
equity, this and that, diversity and that. No, you gonna get this.
Well,
shit.
well, hold on.
I
I think people struggle to criticize. I think it's a lot of like what we just saw with them folding on like the crime bill. I think a lot of them are like to take criticism. I think one thing you got to give Trump, you do have to be a strong, character to stand. And I think a lot of the Democrats, the moment like a little bit of public, pressure get on them, they gonna fold. And I think that's why, it's harder to, criticize the Democratic Party, because like they will, it's kind of fragile right now.
The reason why it was so hard to criticize the Democratic Party, because they systematically silenced everybody through social media.
It's
not like we didn't have the critiques, but you get blocked, you get banned, that's what they did.
Oh, Pete, do y'all even remember why they removed the dislike button on YouTube? The dislike count? Y'all remember?
No,
that?
Why?
Dude, this was back in 2020 during campaign season. Every Kamala and Biden interview got like the dislike ratio was crazy. It was crazy, and then suddenly they removed the dislike count. There wasn't no coincidence, man. Because there's a plugin on Chrome where you actually you could get it back. You could restore it or whatnot. And I promise you go back during 2020, mid 2020, after Biden dropped and Kamala came in, and when she was doing all those interviews, and you look at the dislike count. I mean, she was getting it had to be 3 to 1. 3 to 1 dislike.
Well, imagine, but that was also around the time that oh no, that was Hillary that said she had hot sauce in her back. Oh, that's when that's around the time that Biden what did he drop that? You ain't black if you ain't voting for me, and something like that.
That's what he said. Yeah, I forgot. It was something stupid. That's the one. That was the one.
Yeah. He said a couple things that
was the one.
Had the people on his neck for a little bit.
Hey, looking back,
I was one of them. Listen, I was
that was the one.
Hey, looking back though, I think I prefer those two, hot sauce and you ain't black, compared to Immigrants Built New York. That's crazy.
Nah, I think they all in the same boat, bro.
Who is Immigrants Built New York?
No, because hot sauce and
Mandani.
Mandani.
Do y'all think that Ellis Island and the workers from there built New York or not?
They didn't. It's already
no.
No,
New York. New York had
Are y'all saying the Dutch built New York?
You can't deny
built New York. You
no, look,
if you don't know that.
It was a thriving black communities in New York. But you know what I'm saying, they downplay all that and they took it away. And a lot of things go away with history like that. But out of anything, they're always going to make whatever black contributed to anything be the least. Like, and even when, like you were saying about, back when Clinton was in office. Clinton was in office, I said he was a bad president. I told people that then he was a bad president, all the things that he did and the way that way he governed and everything. You look at all the shutdowns and things that happened, the jobs going away, and, from people going in and out of jail, them doing harder things for a little amount of drugs. You could do less for a piece. You could have a couple of pieces of crack and go to jail less time than you do for having, a quarter kilo. It made no sense. It's the same drug, but it's just it affects different people in different ways. But that's the thing. All of the mental institutions closing down. Them having, and you know what I'm saying, over these past 30 years, this is what happened. That's why we have such a problem with mental illness to this day, is because all this was shut down while he was in office, all up under his watch. There was so much that he did that even though, you know, he played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall show and people said he was black, he went and had oral sex with the lady. The lady had oral sex on him, and they said he was black. Oh, that was real black right there. No, it's craziness that goes on that people didn't see all of the things that was going on. He was the one that he shut down also with the welfare system. When he was in office, they cut back in the time that you could be on it and time and this and that, whatever. The problem is that Democrats have people to vote for them, and you can, no matter what or whatever, they do things and then they hide it right in your. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's there, and you have to just look at the structure that goes on with them and the things that goes on with the way they do things. And you know what I'm saying, they're here and it's great, but they do a lot of dirtiness. They do just as much dirty as the Republicans. They're all friends. It's a system that's out of control. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
The reason I said that hot sauce, you got to mute up.
Mute.
Echo.
Okay, I'm gonna mute. Can't mute.
Yeah, the reason I said that's better is because it's not a verbal genocide of a whole 45 million, 50 million people. You just and just because it's not coming from someone that's non-white, that's even worse. So like, yeah, I prefer the hot sauce stupidity than anything else.
And if I could say about the immigrants, I would say immigrants built up New York, but we all know Black Americans and slave labor built the country, and they came in and, you know, built the high rises, built this, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, here's the thing.
They didn't have slaves in New York.
Yes, it did.
They had hella slaves in New York. Hella slaves in New York.
Sell the slaves on the Wall Street.
Yeah, they come in right off the Hudson, bro. Like,
okay, my bad. I thought it was
hella slaves in New York. Yeah.
And you had this Black indigenous population, Seneca, all that stuff. When they digged up the World Trade, I heard someone saying this online. They found a bunch of black bodies
Village
when they was renovating the World Trade, bro. It was built by Black people, and guess what? When the immigrants came and started building stuff, guess who was actually building with them? Black people. We didn't disappear. We didn't go anywhere.
The thing about New York, though, is like it's kind of like I agree that the blacks were discounted, but at the end of the day, New York City is New York City in large part because it's a melting pot of so many different cultures. Like it is, in fact, the economy in New York City is largely driven by immigration, no matter how you try to flip it.
Oh yeah.
Well, that, and then I mean, Ellis Island was 1890s through the like 1920s. That was the mass grouping of like the immigrant push, in which, like, to me it'd be hard to just say immigrants didn't help building. I wouldn't say that they alone built America. I mean, New York. But the infrastructure in which like has been built up to be known as New York was by the hands of like a big group of people. Like it wasn't just like, yeah. To me, it's just hard to discount the fact that all them people came and worked and built up those things and just like,
that's youth. Because the Harlem Renaissance was what New York was known for before any of this immigrant stuff and all that. So it's
the Harlem Renaissance happened after that though.
Yeah, but just because people was there doesn't mean that the city had an identity, right?
But look, they got shit called Jamaica Queens. Like, why is this shit called Jamaica Queens? You know what I'm saying? Like you got Little Italy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got so many pockets of New York named after.
But that's what every immigrant community does everywhere. I mean, that's how it is in California here. It don't mean they built.
But it must means that they built it. But it doesn't take away from the fact that you can't deny that the fabric of the city of New York is woven with immigrants. Like, it's just you can't take that away.
Yeah, no one denies that. But how
America is known as like a diverse country. It's known as like a diverse country, and all that happened through like Ellis Island, almost like they think like 60% of like white people can trace like their ancestry through like at Ellis Island. And like I know black people, we played our part, but we can't act like we're the only people that play, especially in a city like that. We're talking about the South. Like
when I was,
I think the South
I
is
know
different than
when
New
I
York.
was speaking
Yeah,
of
the
it, I
South is
wasn't
totally
saying
different than New York.
what I was
that's
saying was
false.
that not them being
The slaves were
the
transported
factor.
from New York to the South. What are we
Most
talking
slaves
about,
came through
guys?
Charleston.
What the hell?
Yeah. I agree with Jen. Like most
slaves came through Charleston and New Orleans, not New York.
Bruh, do you not understand they were building slave ships? Not transatlantic slave ships, but ships to transport the slaves from north to south and vice versa. The slave trade was not
No,
just
they were
from
bringing the
one
slaves
destination
through
to
the
another.
South.
It was ongoing, up, down, north, south, north, south, north, south, east, west. Eventually, I mean, I think you guys just need to read up more on the history of New York, because we're so
They abolished
it's so
slavery in
ingrained.
1799.
It's so ingrained in our minds what New York is and has become, but it had to get to there somehow, some way. And they are not the foundation. They didn't build New York. Everybody knows or should have known that but the influence of the immigration population is undeniable. And I think that's what G is talking about. And so I think the terminology is more like maintain and helped elevate New York to its current standing. I think that's a better way to put it.
And can I say about I think was it old man that mentioned about the language, and so and this what I mean about how people get up in arms depending on who does what and they quiet about another one, right? So when it comes to Republicans and they talking about CRT and removing slavery from the books and all that stuff, everybody up in arms, because that's erasing our history, right? But when boy get up there and say immigrants built New York, he's also erasing our history, but nobody really up in arms about it. And it's a lot of rhetoric. It's a lot of rhetoric that goes on where they just kind of omit Black Americans out of the history, out of the conversation, and
Bingo.
that in itself has just as much of effect as say erasing CRT from a college campus or something. And I would bet that has the rhetoric, the lexicon, and how you discuss a lot of history in America. If you erase us there, that'll do far more damage than taking it from a college campus, because you got to go to that class to hear that. But this rhetoric, he's getting up there saying it when he win an election. These people just saying it on CNN on a regular every day on a regular day. So if we get erased from the narrative in the everyday conversation, I mean that's probably more dangerous than removing.
Man, I think Black people got way more of like a legitimate argument for we built the South, where it was plantation economies, where they had slavery on super large scales, versus New York, where we know how many immigrants infiltrated, versus like it was also Black people.
No, but New York.
Can I ask a question?
Was already built.
Can I make a statement on everybody? Forget what year did you say they started? They opened Ellis Island for them to come in. What year was that? 1894, right? Black people been in this country since the beginning, right? And they were up there. But then you telling me that in a little over 100 years, the immigrants did more for area or built the area better than Black people that been there since the beginning of when we got here. So what it is that it's like the immigrants did more, and that it just marginalized us as what we didn't do.
Well,
or what
I think the influx of immigrants.
Like.
Hey, Unc, hold on, Unc. What happened is, if you look at it, we'll look at it like, yeah, we built the infrastructure, but when New York became the world global city that it did, a lot of that was because of the influx of immigrants to New York City. That gave it the power that it had. Like, I mean, of course, we were integral to like the building of, but what it became today is largely based on how many immigrants like travel and move there.
Yeah, I can agree that they did do that, but at the same point, what it is that it seems to me like, I'm sorry.
But no, I'm not trying to take away Black people's impact anywhere, but we also got to understand, like, there's
No, I'm
people in
not.
this
I'm not.
country
I'm
that
not
did
gonna.
stuff
I'm
too.
not ever gonna say.
And like,
I'm not gonna say that they didn't do anything else. They wouldn't have Little Italy. They wouldn't have Chinatown. They wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying, Spanish Harlem. They wouldn't have this or that, whatever. All of that came from that. But I'm just saying that it. I agree. I agree with you that they did. They helped out a lot with, you know what I'm saying, as far as in everything that they did, as far as in there. But what we have to do is stop letting everyone else take credit for things, some things that we did do, and make it look like we did less than what we did do. You know, and
Yeah,
we also can't take we
guess-
can't take them folks credit either though. We can't take them folks.
Yeah,
credit.
like when we look at the building of, like when we look at the infrastructure that we attribute to modern day New York, and we look at what New York looks like inside 1892. I think that if we just all say that a bunch like from American,
black people,
white people, immigrants, black people, indigenous people, like I think everybody helped contribute to what we know as New York City. In my opinion.
In modern day New York
they
City,
did.
that's what we're talking about. But the problem is Mondani didn't present it that way. That's the problem. He excluded Americans and only said immigrants. That's what
I'm saying. The problem is this.
The white ones too.
Yeah, I would just think that what he's saying is kind of implied, just that like immigrants help build.
He didn't say help. He didn't say. Don't make it softer. I know you're going corporate.
What did he say?
Built.
He said they built it.
Immigrants built.
Y'all mad about that? Y'all still mad about that one sentence?
I'm not gonna get that.
Bruh,
I'm not mad about it, but
that is the erasure of your being. That means
I think that if he said immigrants built the South, I feel way.
I feel like I might be upset that he said that, but like I said last week, I give him a chance. I give anybody a chance. Let's see what he do with whatever. Yeah, he probably said something that was ignorant. Everybody says something that's ignorant from time to time. He said something that sound crazy. Okay, let's move on from there. Right. But the problem with everything is with us. It's us right here. It's like it's going back to just black people in general. You know, we can't even say that we love the American flag. No matter what, if you say you love the American flag and you black, someone will come to you and say that, oh, how you love the American flag? You so and so, whatever. White man did this or this person did this. No matter where you're from, even if you have you know what I'm saying, you have the islands that they come from that's in the Caribbean and things of that nature. Who made them flags? Who made whose flag? All white people made all of those flags. You know what I'm saying? So how can you tell us not to be proud of a flag we're under when you're under the same thing when you didn't make the flag that you're coming up under?
I think you're showing your age. So that soft 60 stuff, we bring everybody in, and we done with that. So I know you can give Mondani a chance, but we ain't coming soft like that anymore. We ain't welcoming everybody just because they have some tone to their skin. I mean, some melanin in their skin.
I'm not welcoming anybody for. All I'm saying is that
I'm not allowing anybody to erase my people. And then as far as
I didn't say erase anything. I didn't say erase anything. The problem is the man is in right now. He's already in there. He's in there. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
He got
what are you gonna do?
Man, we ain't gotta give it to him or not. He got it.
The black people not representing the American flag. I don't know where you got that false story from, but if that was the case, we would never join into the army and fight for the country.
What are you talking about? Did you not listen to what I said? That's not what I said. I said that people don't want us to. Outsiders don't want us to.
Okay, outsiders. Okay, I get you there. Yeah,
well, I mean,
right. Yeah,
like if I'm being honest, I think that like right now is a new quote unquote embracing. This is the most that I've seen black people embrace the American flag, to be honest.
But like you're young.
Okay, cool. I'll just say inside my
about lived experience
within my lifetime, and from what I can look at, and from what I could look at from any documentation that I have seen prior to it, but especially within my lifetime, I think that within the FBA movement and like that grouping, this is the first time I've seen black people who don't identify as conservatives putting American flags inside like their bio or hanging them outside their house or anything like that. Anywhere I've ever been at, if you've seen an American flag outside of a house, you kind of knew what that meant. Like that was going to be a white person's house. Like if you seen like a football flag, if you seen like a I don't know, like it's like the red, black, and red. What is it? Black, red, and green.
Red, black, and green.
Yeah. Like it was a bunch of other flags that you would know. Okay, like if you seen the black flag with the fist, like it was a bunch of other flags that you would see. That would be quote unquote black.
I can argue at
I don't know, at least where I've, and I'm in the South. Like I like we wasn't just flying.
I wasn't in the
people.
I wasn't in the South, but I can argue that I can assume that the only other time that you've seen black people go this hard and represent the flag was 9/11.
Nah, niggas ain't had
y'all wasn't. Hey, y'all in the South is crazy there. That's crazy.
No, it's typically doing.
I know growing up, I had an American flag on my bicycle. So I don't know. That was, you know what I'm saying?
We was never against the American flag. We had
but listen, I done came to the spot. You ain't had that American flag outside the house.
No, I don't have any flag outside the house.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like if you've seen an American
flag
outside
the house, want one. I do want one. I just didn't put any flags outside.
Oh, no, I'm talking about like growing up. Like I know. It's cool, but if we seen one, you could almost guarantee.
You're right.
That's gonna be white.
You're 100% correct.
Or
You're
black
100%
veterans.
correct. I can't correct you. You're correct.
Like my dad, he served in the military. We ain't have flags around the house.
Hey, White Cop Moon finds it strange that an American is so in love with America. I don't get it.
That's what I was stating with my whole statement was that it's strange that you have people from like I said, the Caribbean and things of this nature that say, oh, how can y'all love this flag? Who made y'all flag? If the white man made our flag, a white man made theirs too. So what's the difference? But they can love their flag, but we can't love ours. That's not right.
All right, hey, fellas. Let me hop in really quickly.
Hey, real quick, let me respond to But the crazy thing is, a little 13-year-old black girl helped make our flag. Did you hear that,
What'd you say?
The crazy thing is about our flag, a little 13-year-old black girl helped make our flag.
I can believe that, but I'm saying I can believe it.
All right, so hey, fellas, so again, we're gonna hit the wrap up button. Obviously, we're gonna chop it up in the after hours. But listen, I see that new dad yarn happening. And I already understood and knew what the deal was. My dog is over there struggling, and I'm gonna save him. So this has been
gotta go get on my night shift, bro. I'm just getting started.
That boy got a bottle and a diaper waiting on him.
I was about to say, listen, you feed that baby. Just listen, as many bottles as you quickly can. Get him inside that nice little comfortable spot, and y'all take that nap together, brother.
Yeah.
You wake up, hopefully it's about 3-4 hours, and you can hand them right back off.
Yeah, real quick, it's amazing how that first year, like so tough because with the sleeping arrangements, but then when you blink, that first year going just that quick, and that baby like up and walking.
It's
just
facts.
that quick.
That's facts. Yeah. But yeah, my bad. Nonetheless, has the right finally fractured. This has been a fun conversation. We went all around the world. We from again the Epstein files to the Groypers. To now where we're at right now with the black impact on New York City. But this has been a really, really, really good conversation. Shout out to everybody that has contributed. We have G the King, we have Johnny P himself, we have old man Unc dropped out, but he was here. We had Chuck, got Quincy, Steve got that good. Listen, this is how you know Steve got a couple quarters. He on that flight paying for that Wi-Fi by the minute. Listen, I dig it, my brother. Or no, they do it by the mileage, right? Unless maybe Flo.
He probably
wait. Delta got the free zone, right?
He got that upgraded, man. He got that platinum experience.
Upgraded, yeah. He probably
he going in the lounge and shit.
We ain't mad at it. But nonetheless, this has been a fun episode of Unpacked. Shout out to everybody that has tapped in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to both channels. We are streaming on the To Be Fair Show and G Axis Media page. Again, we're here every single Wednesday, 9:30. You can check us on Sundays at 6 p.m. Check G. He got content coming. I know he got some birth content coming. Conversations about everything that's, you know what I mean, he'll let y'all know everything. That's everything. But with that said, we out. Peace.